Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the old MCU Crew. Why are you so bronze? Your camera, your hotelness. Now you're fixed. That's my fault. That's on me. That's not on me. It's the hotel bronze. Here, hold on, bronze. Can we get a close up? Let's just. Bronze, how you doing today? Bronze, center. Stay in shot. Stay in the shot. We're good. We got face tracking here. All right, now that's all messed up.
That face tracking was terrible. What technology are you using?
Look, it's still beta. It's still early times. Okay. We're still getting used to it. Anyways.
Oh, no.
Hello. Welcome back to the MCU Crew. Bronze. Yeah, no more hotel bronze. We've got soft takes bronze this week.
Soft takes?
Soft takes.
I beg to differ. Oh. I don't think that's what you're going to get.
We only have hot takes?
Zero soft. Why is it hot takes and soft takes? I don't like that.
I don't know.
I guess cold takes sounds dumb, but soft takes.
What if it's pancakes?
Now that's hot takes and pancakes.
That's, oh my God, why? That's a show name, Jesse. Don't say that anymore.
Hell yes, it is.
Don't say that anymore.
That is my breakfast gossip sesh. Welcome back to hot takes and pancakes. I drank from my coffee, wrong it out, spilling down my face.
The sponsorship opportunities there are endless.
Yeah. This start of this show, though, we're about to lose our sponsor.
No one wants a man who can't drink coffee. Oh, my God. It's all over my beard. Oh this was a mistake.
It's okay. You're just saving it for later, right, Jesse? That's how it...
Yeah. I mean, you know what else a beard's for.
Yeah. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. Jesus Christ. Anyways, the first hour of today's show is going to be sponsored once again by the Midnight Suns. We're going to be checking out the gameplay reveal that happened earlier this month. They've put out 3 different videos. We got the official gameplay trailer, we got the official game overview, and then they did about a 20-minute gameplay showcase where they go into the Abbey and kind of show the different things happening around the game and in the game. So I'm excited to jump into that. I haven't seen any of it. It's been a tough month not watching. As someone who watches game trailers daily on the stream, I haven't been able to watch this stuff. I've only been able to see the tweets, see people talking about it.
Have you been saving it for us? Have you been saving it for us?
I've been saving it for us, for y'all, for we.
Baby.
I know. I know.
I'm honored. I'm honored.
Romantic.
It's true.
Yeah.
Did you say so magical or so romantic? Because yes to both.
I said romantic. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean both.
Both.
I think the entire MCU crew is now going steady.
Could be.
You know what? It's about time. We all knew this is where this is leading.
Yeah. It's true.
Going steady is exact. Yeah. I can't wait till we're allowed to hold hands.
Say that anymore? I don't think kids say that anymore.
No, of course they do. We're gonna go steady, and then we're gonna go to the sock hop and get some malts at the local.
Have you ever had a malt before?
No, I'm not.
I've never had a malt
years
before.
old. I've never had a malt. No.
Is a malt just a milkshake?
I think so.
Okay.
Isn't it just a milkshake with malt in it?
Does it have soda? Does it have like carbonation in it?
All right, I'm gonna Google malt, and then we're not gonna count this as part of the sponsored portion of the stream.
Hold on now. Do you think Midnight Suns would be pro malt or anti malt?
Well, I'm reading about malt now. Malt is a germinated cereal grain. It's been dried in a process known as malting.
That's true.
Huh.
But a malt shake is different.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah, it's like a malt ball except in shake form.
Oh, it's a milkshake made with the addition of malted milk powder.
Yeah.
Gives the shake a bit of a toasty, rich taste that enhances classic milkshake flavors. Who the hell is did like Big Malt make this sentence? Like what? Milkshake flavors like chocolate or vanilla. It also creates a thicker consistency.
I don't want thick.
Look, I think you know, milkshakes can be too thick sometimes in the grand scheme of
You gotta
things.
suck. It's hard. After a while, your mouth hurts. You sucking so hard.
That's what I'm
It's
saying.
tough.
It's
Yeah.
tough. It's real
It's
rough
tough.
sometimes. You can't get a milkshake
Saying.
that's it's too hard. Too hard to get through the straw. I don't know how to get out of this. Bronze, save me. What are we talking
Let's
about the Midnight
Bronze
Suns?
Bronze can't
Some
save you
new
now.
trailers from Midnight Suns. Today we're going to be looking at let's just look at our notes here.
Are we gonna look at all three? Are we gonna look at all three?
Yeah,
trailers?
we're gonna check out all three because they all show
Cool.
different things. We'll start with the official gameplay trailer. This was the one that I think. So last month we did a sponsor stream for this, and that was when they revealed the game. They also said that I think a week after we did that show on the Wednesday that the announcement occurred that they were going to do the gameplay reveal. And so that is what has come out. But they've also done a 20-minute video talking about everything. And they've also done a 7-minute video kind of breaking down, I think, the gameplay that we're about to watch first. So let's jump into that first and see what's going on here with Marvel's Midnight Suns. Once again, shout out to 2K and Firaxis for sponsoring the stream. Are you big again?
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
You know
Let's
what?
get Tiny Bronze right here.
And then put Tiny Bronze like also in the video.
No, we got to
Bronze
stay
is
in the
like
box.
a part of it.
We got to stay in the box.
I don't like this version. Too tiny.
Too tiny?
Too small.
Okay.
Too tiny.
I've been exposed to PIM particles.
There you go.
Too tiny. Not a fan of that size.
There you
Too
go.
tiny.
Okay. All right. Are you guys ready to watch this? Are you guys good to go?
Of course I'm ready. Let's
Okay.
go.
I'm not going to be
Wait,
able
do
to
we have
pipe
to queue it up ourselves, or are we going to get audio through the call?
I can pipe you audio through the call if that helps. Does that help?
That
Pipe me.
works. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do that then. This might blow your eardrums. We'll see how this goes. All right. This is the Marvel Midnight Sun Rise Up. We're not going to pause, by the way. We'll go back and pause through it afterwards. We're just going to let it go for 3 minutes. Here we go.
How long was I in that crypt?
Is audio good for you?
No more than a few centuries.
Centuries? And what of Lilith?
Fallen by your hand.
Who's that?
Until now. You were missed.
Whatever caretaker put you through back in the day did a real number on you. We got a lot of work to do.
What? Why are you laughing? What's going on?
I love that Blade is just. I love Blade.
course. Caretaker has reformed
Oh, she
the
looks cool.
Midnight Suns.
About time.
You're a midnight
bad.
sun now. One of us.
I'm going to laugh every time I see Blade.
Yeah. For some reason he both fits and totally doesn't fit, and I love it. I honest to God thought they're about to do Gangsta's Paradise. That music, I was like,
Well, here's some. Huh. Oh, I like the little animation.
Okay,
That was
that's
cool.
pretty cool.
So does each character, I guess, have their own like unique cards? Oh, he just got
we need
disappeared.
to go back and pause through that just to see.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't tell if it looked like everyone had a card.
Whoa. She was doing something. Is that like an ultimate or a super or what is that?
I like this folksy, rustic music.
There's the sick saunter.
If I ever
Very
have
much.
a cool posse, I want to walk in a row with them, just like one time, you know?
Is there some here at the end? What is this?
Let me guess. Stealth, not your style.
I'm a vampire, remember? We invented stealth.
Now hold on. Did vampires invent stealth?
Look, when
Big if
Blade says
true.
vampires invented stealth, it happened that way.
Okay, sure. I'm not gonna fight. I'm not gonna fight Blade. I wouldn't
look.
want to fight Blade.
I'm gonna need a couple hours to remake that trailer with the song Gangsta's Paradise.
Gangsta's
And I feel like I could. I'm telling you, when the choir started, I was like, oh, here we go. I was ready. I was ready for it. Yes.
Yeah, Jesse was like already getting hype.
He was already
ready.
into it.
I was ready for it. That would have been amazing.
All right, I
So
want to
you
see all these
get-
cards. So what do we? This is like, is this the start or is this? Oh, he was. So Doctor Strange is like. Let me turn this down a little bit. Doctor Strange is like.
right there is literal. Oh, that's it.
It is a little bit, yeah. He was like making
It's
cards
where
right
the
there.
most I love living in a gangster's paradise. Come on, it would be amazing. Anyway.
I suppose they're going to probably in one of these future videos that we'll be watching here get into
Gangsta's
how
Paradise?
yes,
Agreed.
yeah, get into how these cards are crafted. But it looks like they're somewhat character specific, I think.
Well, I mean, after like a battle, you probably get them, and for doing
Right.
certain things, you probably get them.
Right.
This whole restore 30 health, I imagine that's a card that you like as that character play to then use on anyone.
Could be. Yeah. I mean, that's not, it's not Mystic. What's the other? Nico? I guess maybe Nico's the healer. Or maybe anyone can heal. You might be right. Like that would be kind of unfortunate if you have to bring in a specific character because they can only heal.
Well, that might be the main character as well.
Oh, true. True. Yeah, could be. Could be. Where did they show? Oh, that's definitely a Blade card. Stake that has lifesteal. 100%. That's a Blade card. It looks like it's denoted as heroic as well. So they probably go into this in some future videos.
It looks like they have some symbols in the top right too. It could be that like certain characters can only use cards with. See how there's like a symbol in the top right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So I wonder if that denotes like which decks those cards belong to.
True.
Or maybe it's a attack defense kind of thing because it looks like I don't know.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. I can't see it. It's
Yeah,
like a little
it's
small.
it's a little tiny. I think the next video that we're gonna watch is I don't want to spend too long on this. It's saying like, oh, how does this work? Because I think the next video kind of explains how it all works. I did love the animations here on this little thing that Doctor Strange is doing on Agamotto's Gaze, which is a card that says draw the last 2 attacks played and +1 card play next turn.
Will you rewind like 0.2 seconds?
0.2 seconds, you say? Well, not a little bit longer than that.
So your
to where?
deck is everyone. Give it a look.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right down here.
Oh yeah. It's a mixed. It's mixed up.
Yeah. I really like the like open environment and like the camera angle, if that makes sense. I think in a lot
Sure.
of I think when you think 2K and you think or when you think Firaxis rather, you immediately go into like I do at least into their lineage of other games and you think of like, that default camera angle.
Top down.
Yeah.
2.5D.
Yeah, this one's like very much in the action. And it there's not much like UI, and the UI that does exist is very subtle. And I'm very much a fan of that. It looks like it's well UI'd. That's a
So just based on this, if you look at the cards,
yeah.
what ends up happening is when they cycle through the cards, it might be this one or the previous one, but as you mouse over the cards, the character has that green highlight underneath them.
Highlights. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And so the cards are clearly specifically for characters, but your hand is all of your characters, it looks like.
Right. And even talking about the camera angle here, the like levels, as it were. I wonder how like big that is. If that's just like a grid with like a fantastic skybox behind them, or how much of that you can actually like free move around in. We'll see if they.
How do they
It
select
also
who to
looks
attack?
like so this is
I
kind
don't
of
know.
interesting because it also looks like in the bottom right it has card plays on there with a bar.
Uh-huh.
So I wonder like if you have 3 blade cards, if you can play all of them, but then like he's the only character that works or like does anything that turn, unless you have a card that allows another player to go.
Yeah.
Also, what's the difference between white card plays and explosive blue card plays? And heroism, which is also down there. There's a lot of questions.
It's true. It's true. Well,
Because you have different mechanics.
let's.
I like the animations though.
I
like
I
the
do
blue
as well.
cards because yeah, those are kind of cool.
Yeah. Let's jump to the next trailer because it is a gameplay overview. It's about 7 minutes long. And a lot of these questions that I think we're asking are going to show up in here. So
What?
we load it up
How do they know?
in beautiful 4K, which won't matter to you guys because it's a 1080p video. But
A little tiny screen over here, yeah.
yeah. Here we go.
Gangster's Paradise. Gangster's
Nothing.
could be a remix.
Could be. I keep forgetting that, like, the roster of characters is quite deep.
Gaming's greatest strategy and tactics.
So when, like,
experts
Iron
have
Man and
teamed up
Captain
with
America
the
show up,
world's
I'm like, oh,
greatest
yeah, they're in here.
storytellers to create a new AAA experience unlike anything before it. Welcome to Marvel's Midnight Suns. This new tactical RPG from Firaxis is set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe, packed
she looks
with
cool.
a deeply customizable tactical battle system.
so you can
that
target.
rewards clever
Okay.
thinking
Yeah.
with superhero flair. An epic
KO.
supernatural story that brings you face to face against the demonic forces of the underworld. A deep role-playing experience where you get to live among Marvel legends and the first
smooch them.
customizable original
forgot Captain
hero
Marvel was
from
in
the
here.
Marvel
Yeah,
universe.
that's what I'm saying.
As darkness
Yo,
falls,
you can customize your
rise
hero?
up the Midnight Suns and face off
Nice,
against an
redhead
ancient
incoming.
prophecy foretelling the end of the world.
Do it.
After centuries of sleep, Lilith, mother of demons, has been revived by Hydra. Through
always
a
Hydra.
twist of dark magic and science.
Oh, they're idiots too. Yeah, that checks out.
Oh,
Lilith
Hydra.
has done nothing to fulfill the prophecy of the
Motherfucker's
Midnight
always
Sun
ice skating
and bring
uphill.
back her evil
True.
master, Chthon.
Blade, is that you?
Alongside her is her army of Lilith, demonic forces who carry out
Dang,
her
that's a
twisted
lot of
will
enemies.
with fanatical devotion. Pushed to the brink by her return,
far they're sticking
the
pretty much to,
Avengers
like,
desperately revive
the
a dark
accurate
owl
lore.
of their own,
Yeah.
the Hunter, a legendary hero, forsaken child of
mean,
Lilith.
this is new.
and the
This is
only
new, yeah,
one
this
known
is
to have beaten Lilith before.
Made for the game.
In
Which is
Marvel's
kinda
Midnight
crazy
Suns,
they were able to
the
make their
player
own
takes
character.
on the role of this new hero, who until recently
Oh, yeah, there's
lay
the heel.
peacefully in a centuries-long sleep,
Or buff,
tucked
whatever.
away in a quiet crypt on the grounds of the Abbey, the secret headquarters of an organization known only as the Midnight Suns. For
Like
the first time
Wolverine's
in
just
any
chilling.
Marvel game, the Hunter
wonder
is a
what they talk
customizable
about.
original superhero,
I don't know.
allowing
Yo,
you to live
oh,
out your very own
Sunglass
Marvel
shades.
adventure.
Yo, look
Stunners.
at those swords. I want a flaming
Those are
sword.
kinda cool.
But you won't be
Like, I
alone.
kinda wanna know what
Marvel's Midnight Suns
Wolverine
features a legendary
and Blade
collection
talk
of
about in
heroes that span
downtime.
across the Marvel universe, including the Avengers,
Sharp
Oh, that was
X-Men,
kinda
Runaways, and more. You'll see these heroes in a new light as you develop relationships and strengthen your personal bonds outside the field
Blade,
of battle.
99% of the
Every
time.
hero has a completely unique set
You're a
of
Blade main?
abilities, ranging
Oh,
from
yeah.
damage-dealing attacks to
He's just straight up
life-saving
shooting people.
skills to epic game-changing finishers.
Yo,
There
what?
are tons of unique costumes to unlock.
I really like the
skills to upgrade and heroic
different
team-ups
skins
that
and
unleash
costumes.
devastating combo moves. With your superhero squad picked, it's time to start fighting back the forces of Lilith. combat in Marvel's Midnight Suns is a cinematic tactical affair that rewards clever thinking with superhero flair.
Hey.
The player controls
cool
a
as hell.
squad of 3 heroes
great.
and is dealt a random selection of hero abilities, like a hand of cards. These abilities offer a vast array of tactical choices that expand exponentially when combined with the battlefield itself.
Oh, wow.
Shove,
Okay.
leap, and smash your way to victory
cool.
using the environment to wreak havoc on your enemies. Send the bad guys face first into a wall, into each other, or just right over the edge. Victory requires a
great.
balance of smart tactical thinking
That was
and
lovely.
being able to read and react off the battlefield, as well as cultivating your friendships outside of combat and finding the right combinations of heroes and abilities. Battles rage across iconic Marvel
Sealed.
locations like Avengers Tower to Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, from New York City rooftops to underground Hydra installations, from sun-bleached deserts to a hellscape dimension far beyond our own. When the fighting is done, the heroes return to the Abbey, a living hub that the player navigates in real time, experiencing for the first time in any Marvel game what it's like to not just fight
Cargo
alongside
pants?
beloved Marvel
Does everyone have
heroes,
cargo pants?
but to live
Cargo
alongside
pants, real
them as
big
well.
among superheroes.
The Abbey offers hours of rewarding exploration, gameplay, and story for the player to enjoy.
Oh,
There's
interesting.
even a few lovable, if unique, pets. Get to know your favorite Marvel heroes through careful conversation and shared
Holy
time
crap,
together
his
through daily
biceps are
activities.
huge. Did you
Take a
see
stroll
that?
with Tony Stark on the Abbey
Oh, I
grounds,
saw.
or practice meditative yoga with magic. The choice is yours, but choose wisely, because every hero has their own preferences. Developing deep friendships can unlock powerful rewards in combat and in the Abbey.
Yeah, I'm trying to develop deep
Use the
friendships
spoils
personally.
of battle
There's
to earn new
no
abilities for your
romantic
heroes down in the
relationships.
forge.
That was a big thing.
Upgrade current hero abilities out in the
Keep
yard
it in
as
check.
blades
Keep it in
watchful
check.
eye. Find
I've been
new
told that my
hero
entire
ops and
life,
missions
but I
in the
find
war
love
room
finds a
with
way,
Captain
man.
Marvel,
Love finds a way.
and much,
Love.
much more. When ready, it's time to choose a new mission. Choose your squad of heroes and return to battle.
Telling
The
you.
enemy may grow more powerful
I got a
with
squad
every
in my
fight,
brain. It's gonna be
but the
amazing.
hunter and the heroes will rise in power to meet them, because that's what true heroes do.
You know, I keep, when I first saw this, I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to use Captain America, Iron Man. I don't think they're that cool anymore compared to the rest of the cast.
No way. No way.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
No
the
way.
Ghost
It's all
Rider
about
looked
Blade.
cooler
Blade's
and
on
cooler.
Jet Team
Nice
Cox.
job out there, kid. I mean, I didn't get Hydra bombed until my 10th run with the Avengers.
Kid, you do know that I'm a good 3 centuries older than you, right?
Got her. Yeah.
Boom,
Yeah, but
roasted.
like, what if she was a redhead during that scene?
I don't know if you're going to be able to
And
change
then
the
they
hair color.
Smooched?
That's not going to happen.
Don't say it's not going to happen.
I will say
I
it's
feel
not
like-
going to happen because they already
I
said
like
it's
how
not
you-
going to happen.
I like how you told me I needed to keep myself in check. Meanwhile, Jesse's over here writing fanfic.
Well, here's because I know Jesse can't be kept in check. That's the issue here. That's the thing.
I'm uncheckable.
Yeah,
You can't get me.
yeah, exactly,
My piece is already on the board, my friend. I'm
exactly.
You know,
moving. I'm
I'm
3
just
steps ahead of
saying-
you.
That personally, I look forward to being friend zoned in Midnight Suns.
Yeah, like what? That's the thing. Like, how far is it going to go? Right, and then like, I'm not interested. Right, like,
That's probably what
think
it's
it's
going to
just
be.
gonna be
Like, or
friends, buds
because
being
they're
buds,
superheroes.
dudes.
Yeah,
dudes
there's
being
going to
dudes.
be moments. You know, you'll be meditating and floating in the air with Doctor Strange, and then all of a sudden he'll just be like, "Hey JP, I'm really glad that we're such good friends."
Mhm.
Hey, is
Same
this coming
time
out for
next
PC?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Give it a few months. They won't be friends anymore.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see
Do
what
your
happens.
work, modding community. I believe in you.
All right. Which part of the this is what I'm saying. I don't think are you guys going to use Cap? I hope that we could just use the same 3 team the entire time. Because I don't know if I like Captain America just looks. It doesn't look that cool here. Give me like Wolverine.
Is the roster editable, or do they give you a set team to do different missions with?
There's definitely going to be missions where you have to like meet a person, get
Bring a
person,
person,
learn about
true.
the person, for sure. But towards the end, I imagine you can make your own teams. And I'm 100%. It's literally main character, Blade, Wolverine. I'm gonna call them Slice and Dice, and they're gonna come with me on all my adventures.
I mean,
wait, who are they?
Great.
Blade, Wolverine, and main character. That's what he said.
That's a team right there.
That's pretty. I like. That's not a bad.
I don't even need your magic. I want demon parts.
See,
everywhere.
I'm kind of thinking like maybe you just bring main character, magic, and Nico. I go the completely different route.
Look, I think that's lovely. I think that's wonderful. I think they're all their things will be flashy. I can't wait to play the version of the game where it's like just guys like, yeah, and that's all they're doing, and there's
just
not like
slicing and
laser
dicing
effects and
yeah. Bronze, what about you?
I think I'm gonna roll with Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, and Ilyana magic.
Okay, all right, makes sense.
Well, you have
those
to,
were the three that looked the
play
most
the main character?
ridiculous.
Yeah, I think you do have to bring the hunter. So you only get 2 extra choices. So out of those 3, Bronze, who is it? The hunter plus who else?
Wait, I only get 2 more other than the hunter?
Yeah, I think hunter has to be on every mission. I guess.
We don't know though.
That's
We don't know. Maybe that's not the case. Yeah.
Can I make the hunter into Elsa Bloodstone?
I don't think that's possible.
Oh my god, I'm gonna do it.
You can just pretend. You can just close your eyes and pretend.
No, it never works.
When they were showing the changes, I
tried.
think they did show hair changes because it showed skin color
For sure they
changes
did.
too.
Was that in the beginning? Where did they?
It might have been the previous trailer.
Was that previous trailer?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were showing hair
Was
changes.
it a different sword?
Mm-hmm.
I'll just pull that up real quick. Was it previous? I don't
Elsa
believe you now.
Bloodstone. I always forget she exists until I remember that I'm in love.
I don't know. Picking a lineup is hard because the game has characters I keep forgetting are in it. Because there's
Sure.
so many.
Yeah, it's a deep roster. That's what I was saying.
But I wonder, this is, you know how like, since it just re-released, you know how like in Diablo 2, for example, your build usually is related to the armor you get because it has bonuses and things like, so if I get X armor, I need to build around the armor. My question is, if I get X cards, am I building my team around the cards?
Around the cards.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So do you get to pick the cards you get? I imagine if they're like different rewards, or is it like, here's the 3 cards you get, and if it's like you got 3 Blade cards, you better include Blade in your party, dummy. Right?
Right. Yeah, it might kind of like dictate where you go. But like we were talking about earlier, the missions might also dictate what characters you use, what cards you use with those characters. And then as you get later in the game, there might be a little bit more like free choice in that sense.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, that's how you would imagine it would play out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just curious what the starting, the first 3 hours, what does that look like compared to the rest?
Right.
I would imagine you're learning about new characters, building your deck, that kind of thing, going through the story missions that are kind of like, we have to save Captain America. He's trapped behind enemy lions in Hydra. Right. And then you and 2 other people go there and save Cap. And he's like, thanks for the save. I'm on your team now.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's
Could be. What are the chances, by the way, that the caretaker, the older woman that you see in a couple of these cutscenes of the Abbey is just like a giant demon or something like that?
No way.
You don't think so? You think it's just like just a normal lady?
First off, not a normal lady. She's revealed to be like mega powerful.
Yeah.
But not normal. She's just there to help.
Okay. All right. By the way, in the customization, there was no hair change.
Maybe it was in the new video.
No. There was no hair change at all. It was only weapons.
There definitely was.
Look, right
100% there was a hair change.
No,
bit.
it's just
it
hair.
might not have been here, but it was in a different one.
I don't think
Is this the first trailer or the second trailer?
This is the second trailer.
Go back to the first one. that we watched today.
Someone is saying it's at 101. Oh, but this is the okay.
There
So
you go.
this it looks like you have a little bit of customization for the hunter. I would be
That's what I'm
very
saying,
surprised. Oh, okay. You're saying the hunter. I was gonna say like you can't change the hair color of Blade, right?
No, but I can make the hunter into Elsa Bloodstone.
Oh,
Think
okay.
about
I
it.
gotcha. Yeah, there is a little bit of customization there. You are correct in that, dude. That looks missed that first time through. That looks crazy powerful. From
You can be a dude as well, I guess, is what they're saying.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was gonna say, I was like, I think you can be
yeah,
like a male version.
It's the wrong choice, but you can be a guy. It's not what I would do. I'd be Elsa Bloodstone, but like whatever.
dude. Did you?
I'm not gonna tell you what to do.
Captain Marvel just straight up like killed 4 people with 1 attack. Did y'all see that?
Yeah,
Why-
well, I mean that's.
We just got to play Captain Marvel. What are you doing?
I think everyone can do that. I think everyone can blow everyone up.
Look at
Now,
this.
is it just a face? Here's the question: is it just a face?
I don't know.
Oh, and they were in a straight line, so that's kind of like she probably
Perfect
has a
scenario.
great straight line ability. Yeah.
That's probably true. Yeah, that's probably true.
Line them up, knock them down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think about the big bad Lilith? How we feeling?
Is Lilith single?
Just straight to it.
Obviously a mother. Obviously a mother. All those children, I get it. But like, what's up? What's up, Primeval? How you doing?
Do you think now? They said right here that Lilith serves a greater being. Do you think Lilith is just kind of like the first bad guy, and then we get to see like the actual bad guy, or do you think like she's the big bad?
Oh my God! Is it Mephisto?
No, they mentioned here.
Did you see the fly in the trailer?
They mentioned the evil master Chthon. Right here.
Is it? I know. Here's the
Not
thing.
Mephisto. It's Chthon.
Can't wait to see. I imagine that's the final boss, right?
Or some version
like a
of it,
big-
yeah.
Yeah, like a big giant tentacle monster that gets shot in the face by my man Blade.
There you go. Blade's gonna be the one to do it for you, huh?
Hell yes.
This probably, I gotta think that that's like one of the first missions, right? To go and get the hunter with all the other folk.
Yeah.
Like,
I
I gotta
imagine it's
imagine
probably
the opening is probably, you got like Doc Strange, who obviously knows something's going on because he always knows something's going on. Maybe he's friends
Right.
with Nico, and then Blade shows up, and that's like your first crew. That seems like a good
I mean,
first crew.
Wolverine's in that cutscene as well. I'm sure there's like a selection of people you can bring with you.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have 4 or 5 characters, and then you go to get her out of the coffin, and that's kind of like the start of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, could be. We're talking about different skins. Why would you not
That's
use
cool
the
as
flaming
hell.
swords right here? The like demonic armor with the sigil in the center, and then the
Does that
flaming
gold
swords.
armor exists? That gold armor that they
I
keep
was gonna
showing in the
say.
like that last scene where they all slow walk. That is the best
Is it?
armor in the
I-
game.
Maybe.
Like with the runes and stuff. That's like,
I
that's
want to fight
amazing.
with this Wolverine right here.
Gotta have them all matchy.
I want this Wolverine on my team.
bar
Yeah.
hopping Wolverine.
Yeah, exactly. This is who I want right here. And then where was that? There's a shot of
Undershirt Wolverine.
there's a shot of Blade sitting at a couch,
With his like
and,
ripped
and his
arms.
biceps looked bigger than like most of the characters in the game.
It's coming up right here.
Is it?
I think it's like when they're all sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it says like that 4-person like, oh hey, what you doing? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I thought it was right there. Maybe I'm wrong.
We got some ghost
like-
in the Abbey.
Yeah,
I
that's that
like that
ghost that, like-
the Abbey's like a walk. Oh, there it is right here.
There it
you
is.
go. Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
That's huge,
Blade's
man.
arms are huge.
Look at that. You kidding me?
Blade's arms are the size of his head.
Those are huge.
Damn right. Blade is on
I
my
love
team
that.
100%.
That's like
yeah.
peak comic book though. Like comic books are
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
The way Wolverine is drawn in comics makes me laugh. He's like this short, hairy Canadian man whose arms are bigger than his legs, are bigger than his head, are bigger than the next character's torso. And I love that.
Canadians. Love it. Huge
Oh,
fan.
great.
Yeah. I hope that you could play Wolverine wearing his white shirt and play Blade wearing this shirt, and they just go into battle.
I'm
Just
telling you,
guns
that's my
out.
party.
Team
Guns
Tank
out,
Top.
destroying.
Team
Yeah,
Tank
All
Top.
blades.
Yeah,
All the time.
it's great. It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
Be a
All
good
right.
ass team.
We've also got this gameplay showcase, which I think features some of the developers in it. It's about 20 minutes long. We'll go through it. And they also reveal another bad guy. So it's not just going to be Lilith. There's going to be some familiar faces. I'm not going to spoil the name of the trailer.
Mephisto?
It's not Mephisto, Jesse. It's
Damn
not.
it.
It's not. I apologize. It's not Mephisto. Let's watch this though. This is from a live stream where they were able to discuss a lot of this stuff. So don't read the
Hi
title.
everyone, and welcome to our first gameplay live stream of Marvel's Midnight Suns. My name is Caroline Guevara, producer and your host for today. I am joined by two very special guests, Jake Solomon, our creative director.
Very happy to be here. Very happy to finally play the game.
I'm not Jake.
Of course. And of course, Garth Angelos, our franchise producer.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here as well.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. If you haven't followed us on social media yet, please do so on Twitter and Instagram. Again, that is Marvel's Midnight Suns. Give us a follow so you can be up to date for the latest and greatest. And also, if you want a very exclusive skin for Blade or Night Stalker skin, definitely sign up for our newsletter.
We're getting into some pretty incredible stuff, Caroline and Jake.
All right.
Which we are ecstatic
Turn it up
to
a little
show the world.
How tall is Jake? My God.
Yeah, and you know, it's been a while, and you know, on behalf of the team, before we do dive in, watching the trailer,
Probably 6
watching
footer.
the gameplay assets that came out, it's been incredibly invigorating for the team to see the reaction
We do have to
from the
ask
community.
how
It really
short is
does
everyone
energize
else,
us.
I think is the
We are going to
question.
be finishing the game.
This could be an optical illusion.
And seeing your guys'
True.
love and excitement for what's to come, the team really appreciates. So thank you all. We've also been listening to your feedback already. Very important to us.
Yep. For sure.
And one piece we definitely wanted to touch on was the fact
I like
that
this man because
this
he's from
game
my
is a
clan.
premium title, an enormous single-player game that
Right?
is brimming with
Right?
content.
My
And
Clan of
people.
Gingers?
microtransactions.
My people. He's got his like brown hair,
Okay,
red
though.
hair.
Using contextual clues of how much taller he is than the spinner rack, we have to assume he's like 6'3".
So put that to rest. Put that to rest. Let's just
what I'm
play the
thinking.
game.
Let's get
Let's
into
go.
this
Let's play,
glorious
guys.
world.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it. Jake, you and I used to play another game.
We did. We
And
did.
we're not quite in Kansas anymore, are we? This looks
So they're
like-
just
No.
straight walking around in the Abbey.
So you're in control of the hunter, moving her in real time there. You're at the Abbey, which is an entirely new superhero headquarters that we created with Marvel. Every cool superhero team has to have a cool superhero headquarters. This is ours. We're just showing the
Marvel must
exterior.
have
We're
like
gonna
a
show more
ton of
the
faith
Abbey
in them
and,
to do all
at the
that.
end of this mission.
You don't
Today,
typically see
we're really
that
showing off
amount
combat.
of
So we've got a couple of our squad mates here. We're gonna
creativity
Creative
allowed.
license.
this is our
Yeah,
hunter. We've
Yeah.
talked about how customizable
which is exciting.
they
I'm
are.
glad that they're
They can
getting
look
to that point.
very different from this. We're walking by one of the other characters on the team, Magic, my personal favorite character in the Midnight Suns.
You know, it also was incredibly important to us and the team
Whoa.
to have a base that reflected something like we all knew and loved when we were kids with Marvel.
Yeah.
Avengers Tower, X-Men, and the X-Mansion. Now having your own
Was
base
it really called the
is,
X-Mansion?
such a staple that I think you need to do in a Marvel game. And
Yeah,
something that hasn't
Technically,
been done
it's what?
before. You now have your
Xavier's
own.
Academy.
Yes, and
or-
ours,
Or gifted.
that's a big part of the game, is how
Yeah.
it comes alive,
Mutants.
how you live with these heroes. And we'll talk about
But
that
I think
in
people
a
just
little
call
bit.
it the X-Mention.
And so now what we've done is crossed over into this sort of interdimensional space we call limbo. So magic opens
I like the
portals.
hurricane bits,
You
and the
walk through
tornado bits in
limbo
the
and
background.
you
Those
get
are
to your
neat.
next mission. And
Yeah.
that's kind of one of her powers, and she can display this stuff in combat as well.
Awesome. So we're gonna just dive right into combat then.
Yes.
All right,
We're gonna
let's
play
do
some
it.
combat.
We are going to play some combat, and again, you know, we are a tactics team.
Was that
through and
not
through.
enough something?
I'm so
I
proud
didn't see it.
of
You
the
want me to go back?
designers we have here, and
The
folks that work with
second
Jake and
card
the creative
has
systems
it
designers,
might
but
be not enough
we made
heroism.
something
Oh, yeah,
that you have
yeah.
not quite seen when it comes to a tactics game. There's so much when it comes to the visual element of this, characters and how they're going to move, and the superhero flair that you're going to see.
For
but
sure.
first, we wanted to slow down before we start playing this thing fast.
Let's
and
talk.
talk about what the mechanics
Let's talk
are
about the
right?
abilities, right? Because, as you may have heard, The hero's abilities, they're dealt to you at the start of combat, and like a hand of cards.
Like a hand of cards?
Yeah.
A timeless game mechanic, by the way, right, Jake?
What could be controversial about cards? Nothing, I assume. However, in case it is, I would understand why people would say, what? That's very different from anything we've done before. It doesn't actually, I want to make sure that people understand it doesn't play that different than things we've done before. But as Garth is playing, I'm going to explain how this whole system works. And the idea is that every character has their own abilities that the player is in charge of. So they can assign whatever abilities they want to Blade, to Doctor Strange, to the Hunter. They bring all those abilities into combat, and there aren't that many of them. So you're going to see all those abilities come up. But they're dealt to you as a hand of cards.
And there's some really cool card categories too, right?
He just straight up shot that guy.
So there's 3 different types of abilities that are really important. There's an attack, which Garth is there. One of the benefits of abilities, treating them as a card, is we can put like really interesting effects on them. So we have tons of them. It's another benefit is we can make so many different abilities. We can give them interesting effects. One is an attack, which Garth showed off there with Blade. The next is a skill, which he just used with Doctor Strange. And that is the sort of thing that is a little more, could buff your allies, could be defensive. There are different ways to use it. But ultimately,
the heroism
important thing is that by playing attacks, by playing skills, you're building up a resource that we call heroism. You can see this in the bottom right.
What's that?
Yeah, it's a simple, the game all rotates around heroism, right? And so you build up heroism, and you use that to then use the third type of ability, which is called the heroic.
They are your most powerful attacks. They can have devastating impacts on the enemies, and that's what we're working towards right here. Now, I have a few other plays. Before I use
I wonder how many
Doctor
there are
Strange's heroic
in the game.
I'm going to use one of the Hunter's attacks to build up more heroism, which will make the heroic stronger.
So right now,
so even though it costs 2 to use,
fire off this ability.
the more heroism you have,
knock an enemy
the more
into another
damage
enemy.
it does.
But you can also discreetly move your characters around the battlefield, and you'll have to be able to use different abilities or different effects in the environment.
So
now we're going to trick.
Oh no, you're fine. I was going to say, like, it seems like you have a lot of flexibility and freedom how you choose to play, like with your heroes.
Yeah, you do. I mean, the idea is that the game is meant to move pretty fast. It's still very deep.
Dang.
I love that ability.
That right.
That dude exploded.
By the way,
Yeah. He didn't make it out of there.
He's still kind of there.
Okay.
Knocked out. All right.
After a few hours.
Yeah.
Fine.
But also, I mean, you saw that heroic ability. Our team.
And now we have 0 card plays. We have 1 move left and 1 redraw.
They have created these abilities that are in your face.
Interesting.
Incredibly satisfying to watch over and over. And the payoff.
Yeah, they've really pushed the presentation of the abilities, and it's amazing to see. There are a lot of deep elements to combat here, and part of that is how different the heroes play. So we have a number of different abilities here, and in fact, actually, Garth, can you talk about what you're about to do here?
Yeah, we're going to use a special skill from the Hunter, which is going to chain on and allow us to use.
Did you notice the RTX and the
so Inspire
water on the floor
allows you to play heroic or a card that costs heroic,
underneath where it says Blade.
So that's what we're going to do with Hunter, and that's going to lead into
looks amazing,
ability.
Yeah, and so the hero combo, again, a big attack. The way that you unlock these abilities is actually through the Abbey. So we talk about how the relationships that you have with these heroes, and this, it's very awesome and very powerful. You unlock these super powerful attacks by forming a relationship.
Wait, did everyone go on this one guy?
Last man standing.
I guess so.
He's not going to be in Rush Hour 3.
So again, that's an encounter. They play very, very fast.
Why is it
I
that
love
for every
Blade.
one of these sites we take out, it seems like 2 more appear in their place?
Patience.
Hydra.
Yeah, no, that's Hydra, yeah.
Up to their name.
I
Called,
hunted an actual Hydra. That was easier.
Easier than this.
Super good.
I live up to my name.
Oh, and he's in like his classic garb too.
Yeah. What did that say? Second best is what he does?
Yeah.
Put on your head. Runt.
Oh, Crossbones is there too.
It had to stay attached to your body. Well, too bad for you. Big words.
You talked for too long, dude. Now you're gonna get punched. Yeah. Oh my god, the best there is at what he does.
Right today, Sabretooth.
It's Deep
Heads are definitely about to roll.
Oh, prey.
Oh, dang.
You smell wrong.
Compared to him,
Good point.
You just say she smells bad?
I get to kill two.
I think because she's like undead, maybe, or something.
Oh yeah.
She's definitely not like a
300
normal
years
human.
old.
Hydra.
This is great. So this is clearly the Wolverine intro level, right?
Okay, guys, I
Could
would
be,
be
yeah.
lying if I would say I'm not excited about this very iconic duo, this battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine.
Yeah, and
No, it's
as
just the
saw
two of
there,
you, 'cause everyone
just
else
one
left.
of the cinematics.
Yeah,
we
that's
have
great.
Hours of cinematics in the game. Obviously, we're telling a very deep story, and part of that story, of course, is introducing these villains. And this is the first villain
Dang.
we've shown, but we have a large cast of characters, not just heroes. We've got, again, as I said, 12 Marvel heroes plus the Hunter. We also have a large cast of villains for the player to fight against. It's what makes Lilith so powerful. So again, she's the ultimate enemy.
Yeah,
The thing
hard.
that's cool about her, if you imagine the most dangerous people in the Marvel universe, she's equally dangerous because she can corrupt people with a single touch. So not only you fight villains like Sabretooth here, but you'll fight what we call fallen, where Lilith has corrupted villains. She's corrupted even heroes that the player's gonna have to fight against over the course of the game. So yeah, very deep narrative. A lot of narrative
I
comes
wonder
out,
who
not
some of
just
the
through
heroes
cinematics,
that are
but
corrupted
also
that we're gonna
through
fight.
appearance in game as well. And now
I
we're
love
fighting
that
against Sabretooth.
in-
And yes, you're right. This is an
Have some
iconic
fun with vectors
mashup,
here.
right? Wolverine,
Yeah.
the best at what he does. Sabretooth,
It's really cool.
kind of good.
I also didn't expect to have the garbage actually
he's
fall on the
deadly.
floor.
Like, Sabretooth is a very deadly character,
Kind of
and so
a
you're going to
nice
have to
little
require your
attention to
entire team
detail.
to take him out. All of our villains have a bunch of unique abilities and also a unique flair to them. Sabretooth, the idea behind Sabretooth is that he has an ability called Frenzy, and that means that every time you take an action, he may respond, right? So you have to be really careful. You have to be very efficient in what you
pretty
do
cool.
because Sabretooth responds very quickly. So
Got
you can
it.
take 2 actions, then he's going to fight back.
So you have to
Newspapers?
anticipate when he goes on that frenzy, kind of.
Yes,
Got
like
it.
for now.
Stack of newspapers.
He killed
But
that
yeah,
man
I
with
mean,
news.
I love.
There is such a thing as too much bad
We've
news.
introduced, here we're introducing Wolverine for the first time. This is where you meet him. This
Damn it,
is
Jesse.
pretty far into the game, probably. I mean, actually, this game's very long, so not that far, but this is a good 10, 12 hours into the game.
Wow.
When you meet Wolverine and you unlock.
Wow, 10,
him.
12
there are
hours
characters
isn't
you
that
unlock,
far?
through play.
That's
This
exciting.
is the moment when you sort of meet
Hey, this is
Wolverine
like
for the
a-
first time.
Well,
What,
I
So,
think it depends
again,
70
on
hours?
your
a
expertise with
completely
tactical
different
battles,
play
right? I
style,
imagine a lot of people are
complete
like,
set of abilities.
Can you go into his
battle might
abilities
take
a
an
little bit
hour.
more? Like what makes him so unique and different from the other characters?
Yeah. So if you think about Wolverine, he's very savage. He has the ability to attack multiple targets. So he has what we call chain. He has a lot of ability that chain to multiple
Or as
targets.
Jesse calls it,
And
slice
at
and
the same
dice.
time, he can
Slice
taunt
and
enemies,
dice.
and that means that he can draw their fire when he
Oh,
attacks
he just
them.
got like
then
punched
enemies
across the arena.
target Wolverine after that, and that's great
Oh, he's
because
back.
he ran back.
Wolverine has the ability to regenerate health. He's very low on health here. Garth, you doing okay, bud?
That's his little berserk. I'm gonna get some life steal on there if you want to mention that.
No, that's
For a second, I thought
I
if he
believe
uses
in
that
you, Garth.
power,
Like, you
he
can
would
do it.
fine.
I was like,
As you can
okay.
see, Sabretooth, huge health bar.
Heavy hitter. Definitely
Yes,
heavy hitter.
definitely a heavy hitter. And so that's good. Wolverine has got some lifesteal going on and sent that guy to the moon.
That guy just went flying.
But yeah, this is the problem with Sabretooth, right? Is that he just doesn't stop. And this matches how he is in the comics as well. Like, Sabretooth doesn't stop, you know?
Yep.
So you have to always kind of be on your toes here.
All right. What are we doing, Garth? Like,
We got him.
we got him? Okay, all right. Okay.
I'm actually going to
You can position yourself, use the environment.
Okay. Right.
One thing that's worth pointing out is that as you move, you can continue to move until
Oh,
you
wow.
use an ability, right? And so you can
That's neat.
position yourself just perfectly. Until you use an ability, you can continue to move around the map.
And the movement balance is one of my favorite parts. As movement, if you play tactics, you know how critical it is. But it's this wonderful balance of you can choose to play more methodically and find that single precise movement position to take advantage of the enemies. But it's not every single turn, every single action you make that decision.
He's donezo.
Can't heal.
dead. Finally.
Now he's gonna be undead.
What? No!
Or something.
Fisto?
I guess she's like, stop, loser. Want to stop getting your ass beat?
You'll do.
Wait, why are we applauding there? Cool.
All right, so we saw a lot of good.
You know what I thought
gameplay,
was
a
kind
lot
of
good
interesting that they talked
abilities,
about
just, like,
for a second there
amazing gameplay,
is that
of course.
once
but
you
this isn't
move,
just
you
it,
can
right,
keep
Kark? There's
moving
still a whole nother
until you
section
take
to it.
an action. So if you misclick,
It is
or
enormous.
the
It is
angle doesn't line up the way you
incredibly
can.
exciting.
In some other
Again,
tactics games,
we love
that's
tactics games, and changing what we
True.
did with the tactics design there wasn't enough.
Mhm.
We wanted a whole
Which
other half
isn't
of the game.
difficulty,
that
it's
was
just
the
tedium,
RPG
right?
part of
So
the
it's kind of
tactics
cool that
RPG. So we're
you
going
can just
back to the
reposition
Abbey
again.
now,
Yeah.
and we're going to show you guys a little bit of a gameplay tease with what you can do within the Abbey.
All
And we're
right.
going to start in the Hunter's Quarters.
All right, let's do it.
You can do an enormous amount. Obviously, after a hard day's work, you want to go back to your place of refuge.
Right, you're wearing casual
course.
clothes. Casual clothes, many outfits. We actually have a lot of outfits that.
And look at this room. It looks like some decorating could be done.
Superheroes always
Can
have
you
the
do
best
decorating?
posture.
Yeah, you gotta update.
They
the
have
room.
to.
And yeah,
Like,
there's ways to
shoulders
update
back,
not
like,
just the
I'm
character,
very
as well.
confident.
Here's your beloved,
Of course, Charlie.
right? Your beloved Hellhound Charlie, who loves you so much. You can, of course, pet the dog, and there's a lot of benefits to that as well.
Are we going to be able to explore that a little bit more?
We are, and in fact, what's happening right now is the hunter walking onto the common room after combat, and so again, this is really a social experience where after combat, all these heroes are hanging out, and you can choose from different heroes after combat to hang out with, and this is an important part of building.
Blade.
It is.
Blade.
It's one of my
Blade.
favorite parts of the game.
Blade.
Not only do you have fun in combat, you come back and you have a very,
Looks like
very
they're leaning
important
towards
choice to
Blade.
make, which is a whole other part of the Marvel fantasy, right? It's not just battling amongst these heroes. It's who do you want to hang out with, Nico Morono or Iron Man, right?
Yeah, and there's a lot of benefit to this, right? There's not just a narrative benefit as they commiserate over their terrible parents. Well, my dad's not watching because I can commiserate with them as well. But yeah, then in addition to hanging out with heroes, you obviously get to have a deeper experience talking to different characters around the Abbey. We're kind of alluding here, like your dialogue choices
Wanda's
can affect
powers.
the hunter balance as well.
I mean, it's an RPG. There's branching dialogue choices here.
Right.
You mentioned the light-dark balance. The role-playing portion of how you want
Wanda
to craft
gonna
your
be a
hunter and their
villain?
personality
Could
is
be.
incredibly compelling.
Also, did I just say
and
Agatha's
you'll be able to do
shrine?
that in
Yeah.
spades in the Abbey. Uh-oh, what are we doing here, Caroline? You love the dog?
I do.
You walk your dog?
I mean, it looks like it.
Dog can walk with you.
The dog's walking, leading me somewhere special. Okay, where are we going?
So, this is just one of the
Still says
many
the
things
top
that
left.
happens on the Abbey grounds. So the Abbey grounds are very extensive, which you can explore, and you should. And this is a lot of
I
really
love how spooky
interesting
it looks.
optional content that the player can come out here, explore the grounds, uncover a lot more narrative, a lot more
Oyster.
gameplay. And so, again, we wanted this to feel like a living space. And so it's not just the interior of the Abbey, it's the exterior grounds as well that feel, appropriately supernatural based on our
Again, you think of the world of Marvel, it's not enough to just have a series of menus in between missions or a base that doesn't have a lot of content and substance to it. And the grounds really act as that, since they're overloaded with secrets and mysteries and deep, deep lore to learn more, even in other corners of Marvel that you may be surprised about, the background of the Hunter and Caretaker and other characters.
Right. And there's so much more that we would love to show
Let's
you.
keep going. Can we keep going?
And we will. There's so much more to show you.
Soon.
And,
Oh, that's
and
Agatha
we
right
will,
there.
very soon.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, there you have it, guys. We have a little bit of gameplay, a little bit of Abby, a lot of
We got like a
combat that's coming up as well.
Vamp here.
What's coming up, guys, in October, coming months?
A lot. So we want to dive deep on some of the characters, like start to show more about these characters, and then show more gameplay. We just hinted at it with the combat and the Abby, so we want to show more of that in the coming months.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty sure everyone's looking forward to it. Thank you so much, guys, both Jake and Garth, for joining us today and showing our fans, of course, like Marvel's Midnight Suns.
Yes, we are very happy to finally be putting the game.
Yeah, so it's incredibly exciting. Thank you all. Thanks for being with us.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, thank you guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure to follow us on social media. Again, that is Marvel's
I like that
Midnight
they're being
Suns
this
on
open
Twitter
about
and
everything.
Instagram. Make sure to give us a follow. Also, sign up for our newsletter for the very exclusive Night Stalker Blade skin. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to
Jesse,
sharing
you're gonna
more.
get the night blocker. Whoa! Pumping the music there, dude. You're gonna get the night. What was it? Night Walker skin? Is that what I said?
I mean, if it was like, casual Blade.
Yeah.
If it was Blade and is like in a t-shirt that
That's
said,
him right there. Look at that.
yeah, but like imagine if we lose the leather jacket and the t-shirt says, my other ride is
Your mom.
yep, that's what it says.
That's Blade.
And if that's what it said, then that I would not only I would double pre-order.
Double pre-order. You don't even have to pre-order to get it. You just go follow a newsletter or sign up for the newsletter.
See, it's that easy.
Yeah, I'm two things. One, I'll repeat it because I think it's worth mentioning. I like how open they're being about everything. Granted, it is all marketing, obviously, and that's kind of where we're at right now in the video game world. But the fact that they're going to be showing that much over the next couple of months, rather than just kind of going dark until like a month out, I enjoy. I'm more interested in seeing like what the characters are going to be about in terms of how much. Like if you go into a fight, are the characters going to be doing the same thing every single fight? Are you going to have like your go-to moves, or are we going to have multiple heroic moves, or just like one big heroic move that you do all the time? I'm curious to see how all that stuff works out, or if that's something that by exploring the Abbey and getting around there, if you can unlock some other stuff or some hidden team ups, or as you improve the relationship with these characters, kind of what does that actually work towards in terms of unlocking? Because I think they said that it will unlock some stuff, but like, what are those things? So hopefully we get to see some of that stuff moving forward. I do like all the little tinges of the Marvel universe in there, though, like Wanda being in there. Jesse mentioned that she could be a person that's perhaps tainted by
The dialogue
Lilith.
was talking about something about her powers, so I don't know what that means, or if maybe she's in the game in some other capacity. I have no clue.
Yeah, I don't either. Agatha was obviously in there, so it seems like they're going pretty deep into the Marvel world and a lot of that stuff, which is exciting. The fact that it's not just going to be like mission based and you jump into that type of stuff and move forward. Looks great. I'm glad with I'm glad that we saw all that stuff, and I'm happy with everything that we saw. I think more questions obviously popped up, as they will when you get to see more stuff like this, but it seems like they're going to continue doing this stuff monthly, so we can hopefully get some more information from there. What about you guys? That's kind of my summed up thoughts on it. Do you guys have anything to add?
I mostly just that I agree with you that I like that they're kind of showing so much. I wasn't sure like going into it like how much they were gonna show ahead of the actual release of the game. And I don't know, I just always have a lot more like excitement about. I'm not one of those people that gets like hyped for a trailer. Does that make sense? Like it's really
Sure.
hard for me to like see a
You're the
like,
hard
I'll
sell.
get excited. Yeah. I'll be like, "Oh, this looks interesting," but I very seldom like, nowadays you can flash a title card and people will be like shrieking and cheering. For me, I have to see a little bit more to like actually, kind of g- get that anticipation, I guess I should say, or like where I get impatient about it. But to me, like showing that much shows like faith in their product. Like, because a lot of companies would not be showing gameplay, I think, like this far out from the launch. Because it's not even coming out this fall, right? It's coming out next year.
Yeah, March.
So like for a game that's coming out in March to already be showing like gameplay footage, how the system works, that shows confidence in your product because it's one of those things where you always risk people kind of picking that apart or dismissing it before seeing it at all. And the devs actually addressed that in that video where they were talking about, people's reticence to like kind of be excited about a card game. And he
Mm.
quickly clarified that the cards were kind of just stand-ins for the player's abilities and to not think of it as a card game, but to think of it as like I think he said something like each character has 3 abilities that you choose, and those are represented in the form of cards. So to not like sit there and think like, oh, this is a card game. Like, no, it's still a turn-based tactical strategy game. It's just they're using cards instead of probably as a visual component. Um, so I mean that to me tells me that like they're at least somewhat aware that people are going to be kind of like, oh, I don't want to play a card game, or what if you have to pay for the cards, or they're kind of like that. They're like, I don't know, bringing that up or like talking about it because, like I said, that to me just shows confidence in a product, which makes me feel like more confident about it. Granted, we are sponsored, so I'm sure people will just see that as shilling, but
Hey, comes with the
'cause
territory.
there's like yeah, it's like there's one of those things though, like there's certain types of games, like if you just say that, people will just say, "Oh, I hate that." If it's like, "Oh, this side-scrolling platformer roguelike." If you don't like that type of game, you're just gonna be like, "No, I hate that."
Right.
So with card games, you do run that risk because we have a history of games involving cards and immediately becoming like pay to win or just like not very great games. And I like that they like actually talked about that. And I do believe like they've also clarified that there's not going to be microtransactions involved with the cards. So
Correct.
this is kind of nice to have that information right out of the gate.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me, he mentioned the Wolverine mission that we saw in that trailer was about, what do you say, 12 hours or 10 or 12 hours into the game. When it comes to the card aspect of it and the different moves and everything that you're allowed, my biggest question is like, if that's 12 hours into the game, this is potentially a 30 plus hour game. Are we going to be getting the same cards that we got, 2 hours into the game that we're getting 30 hours into the game? Is there going to be like variance there?
You have to imagine that the reason why there is, I don't know how many it was. Let's say there was 10 slots for your heroism, right? The little clubs.
Yeah.
That over the course of the game, when it comes to hero cards, you're going to get ones that require 2, and then a character will probably get one that requires 5.
True.
And then maybe by the end of the game, you have one that requires 10. And it'll allow you to like do cooler abilities. Of course, you're going to get different. I mean, it's a card game, so you're going to get different cards over the course of the game.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Maybe you can buff them, right? Like maybe there's a way that you can be like, yeah, this is Blade /3, and it just like looks cooler. I have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, they did have that workbench scene with
Doc Strange,
Iron
right?
Man.
Oh, was it Iron Man? It was one of the heroes. Could have been both heroes. I guess would make sense.
Oh, Stark. Yeah, I guess it could be either. I thought it was Tony Stark, but I could be wrong. So we'll have to double check that. But they like showed him at like the workbench type of situation. So that tells me that like maybe there's a system to like upgrade, re-roll maybe cards or something like that, or like because then it said like choose an ability and it like flips over one of 3. So my theory is you probably get crafting materials and stuff from like levels and killing bosses and doing some of that extra content they were talking about of like looking around the grounds and looking around the Abbey and then using those as well as like your relationships with different superheroes. You can probably unlock new abilities for them, but you can only ever choose 3. But you probably get like better abilities as the game goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense for sure. Jesse, any final thoughts here before we'll wrap up and move on from the sponsored portion?
Yes.
Oh, definitively, yes.
Yes. If you were a primeval and single, like what do you think would be like a fun date night? Like if you can do anything, what's left to do?
Well, you're probably wanting to like take over the world, right? So you probably want to leave that. You don't want to bring that into the date.
But that's like her day job.
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
Like what
You
she does during
don't
the
want
day,
to bring
right?
that
So
into
like,
the day. Yeah.
how do I take the mother of all demons and like get her away from that for a few hours?
Uh-huh.
Do you think it's Disneyland? You think that would do it?
Could be. It's not bad.
We can go down to the pier and get some drinks.
Maybe.
And then go ride that one ride where you like shoot the Toy Story characters. Bet she'd like that.
She might be into it.
Just saying.
You know what I think she would like?
Oh, this is
I don't
good.
know
Oh,
why.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but she seems to me the type of gal that would enjoy those very artsy things that you're like, wow, people do this? Like, you're so adventurous. And it's like couples glass blowing, or drink wine and learn to paint, or come and create your own pottery and we'll fire it for you. Like, you see those things on Groupon or whatever. And you're like, wow, imagine what type of adventurous couple is like, yes, darling, next Thursday, let's meet and learn to glass blow together. I feel that Lilith would be that person that would be like, yes, Jesse, let's go and learn to glass blow together.
Right. I mean, I'd take her out to one of those dinners where they turn off the lights and you have to eat in the dark, but she glows. So
it's true.
That's a thing?
Oh, it's a thing. And it's about like it's about the sensation of eating without seeing your food. Yeah. Oh, it's a thing. I've never done it before, but I feel like right. It's like a little dangerous. There are knives. It's pitch black. Who knows what could happen? She and I are there. What if after we're done, everyone else in the room is, and it's like, how'd that happen? She's like, I don't know. I'm like, baby girl, you're the best. And she's like, I know. Right? Romance. Romance isn't dead. It was everyone else at the party.
What?
Call me Lilith.
I don't get it. Like, what is the reason? Wouldn't that make your anxiety spike? I don't know, man. I lived in India for 10 years. I am not eating anything I can't see.
Yeah, I guess you gotta have some trust. There's got to be some trust there.
It's one of those things where it's supposed to be.
have
It's like,
lizards.
look, I don't get it. I don't do it.
Bronze, for some reason I thought you just said we have wizards, and I was just kind of like, wait,
Oh,
what?
yeah.
What just happened?
No, we have lizards, right? Kind of like Hawaii has geckos. We have like
Right.
lizards everywhere, and like they'll regularly just fall off the
I
ceiling.
imagine it's not like come on down to the Taco Bell and eat in the dark. I don't think that's what's happening. It's like you go to a restaurant that costs way too much money and they turn the lights out on you and you have to sit there and like, I've never done it. I couldn't tell you what it was like. I just know it exists because you said it was a weird thing and you were like, go make pottery. And I was like, well, what's weirder than pottery? Eating in the dark. All I'm saying is I don't like the fact that you go on a date, you create a thing together, and then if you break up, you have to keep that thing. Nah, it's just something else you got to throw away.
True.
No,
True.
Thank you. Lilith and I, the only thing we break are hearts and souls.
There you go.
Call
Well,
me.
Jesse Cox, you can do that next March 2022 in Midnight Suns. Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you probably have to.
Actually, we're saving.
I
humanity,
think
which
you
is
actually
like,
got to
whatever.
defeat her,
It's,
but
it's all right.
maybe.
I mean, it's cool. It's okay.
You never know. Shout
I guess
out
they
to,
deserve a second chance. Like, whatever.
Yeah, maybe so. Shout out to Firaxis and 2K for sponsoring the past hour. We'll be back next month as well, I believe, with another sponsored portion, checking out all the latest and greatest about Midnight Suns. So with that done, we're going to move on to the normal show. We got news. We got a what if, a fucking weird what if. Guys, what if is... It's not good. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just coming out.
You didn't enjoy that what if?
I can tell you didn't enjoy it because you weren't able to get through the announcement for us talking about what if without announcing that you hated it.
Yeah, we'll get to it. Let's talk news first. I thought this news was quite funny, but also interesting. Eternals gets a mature rating. in Russia. That's the headline. Only in Russia, which probably
That's
means...
probably because there's like a scene where like
Yeah.
two people of the same sex kiss, and they were like,
You're
"No!"
correct. You're probably
100%. I'm not gonna say nothing about Russia, but Russia be like that.
You are probably correct.
Russia be like that.
Yeah. Yeah. It is prohibited for children, which according to comicbook.com is one Russian cinema. It's a rating that Russian cinema authorities have often reserved for Western films with LGBT or BTQ plus themes, such as latest Power Rangers reboot,
Well, look who was right.
etc. Yeah. Yeah. So
Russia is like...
Russia doing Russian things.
Yeah, Russia, it's pretty obvious when Russia is like tipping their hat to like, we clearly, it's like, all right, calm down.
Listen, what if my daughter sees two women being happy and then becomes...
Then she'll want to be happy
gay?
too? The vodka market will crash. It'll be over.
We'll be standing in line for bread again, Jesse. Okay?
Insane.
Come on.
Insane.
This is going to mess up everything.
If we had that clip of Sean Connery and Sam Neill singing the Soviet national anthem in that sub, this would be the time to play it in the Hunt for Red October. Just play it right now.
Oh, man. Some other Eternals news. It was revealed. Where was it revealed? I'm not sure who had the actual story. It was also from the Russian leak. It is apparently 2 hours and 36 minutes long, which is one of the, I think, the longest, or one of the MCU's longest runtimes. What is the longest MCU? Was Endgame?
Oh, Endgame.
I was gonna say
100%. Yeah.
Let's see. Runtime of Endgame. Oh, yeah. It was 3 hours, 2 minutes. That was a 3-hour film. Yeah. Yeah. So that's pretty lengthy, though. 2 hours.
Eternals
36.
is long.
Yeah.
Why is Eternals so long?
They
7,000 years of history they have to get through.
There's a lot, apparently. Yeah.
It takes a while to get through that much time.
There's a lot apparently going on for sure.
I don't know. That gives me some trepidation. Not a lot, but I just feel like Endgame, it made sense because the scope of that film. And I guess this also has a large scope of what they're covering. They're trying to establish all of these characters in one film and then tell a complete story using those characters. I guess never mind, my trepidation's gone. But sometimes I feel like films that are over 2 hours and 10 minutes have pacing issues. But I hope that's not
And
the
then
case.
sometimes it's a story about two cutie boy hobbits. Are they in love?
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
Mm.
But there's a woman waiting for him back
According
in
to
that
Russia?
tavern, and that boy's got to get back. Yeah, you're right. According to the, and to be clear, according to the Russian government, shout out to the Russian people, very good people. Russian government. Yeah, all right, we can move on.
The Russian government has gone on the record and said that they wish Sam and Frodo fell into the fires of Mount Doom.
That's what I heard.
Gollum.
Mm-hmm.
I heard the Russian government refused to accept the fact that there were 3 eagles at the end because that third eagle was for Gollum because they thought they were going to be able to save Gollum. That's what I heard.
Gollum.
That's what I heard. I heard
Dang.
they didn't think that was true, but there were 3 eagles in that scene. Who is that third eagle for, Putin? Who is that third eagle for?
The real question.
Was he just there for support? No, he was there for Gollum. They were trying to save him. Even at the end, even when he was evil, they were trying to save him. That's why they're the good guys. Oh.
In other news, although we are sponsored by Midnight Suns, I am sad to announce we have also gotten a mature rating, but only in Russia.
It's true.
So
that's true. Very true
unfortunate.
statement. Yeah.
Unfortunate. But
So some of the bigger news, or one of the bigger news stories this past week, which I should probably preface this with, we're not lawyers. I also have not read too much because I saw a snippet that basically said it's not that big of a deal. But the Steve Ditko Estate filed a copyright termination for Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, as well as a bunch of other like Avengers, essentially.
What's the hot take on this that you have? Because I have one for sure.
I mean, my hot take is that it's the Steve Ditko estate. It's not necessarily Steve Ditko. And they're probably just like, man, I'd like some of that money. That's probably...
that is definitely what's happening.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to be honest, I think I sympathize. Because I feel like...
Sure, yeah.
As a person, he
kind of got screwed over.
Yeah, like
in
he
a
got
lot of his life. Yeah.
And now that there's a ton of money in the Marvel verse, the estate, his family, is getting bupkis on that. And so what they're doing, it appears, at least from what I read, it appears that they're like, hey, throw us a few bones here, and hopefully Disney will just like do that and it will end. Because if it doesn't, they're,
they already counterfiled, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna win, but like it'd be nice if Disney just kind of like gave them, because I don't think anyone in their right mind imagined the profitability of these characters. Like it went for when you make a character and it's popular, like, oh, you see millions, right? You're like, oh, we could get millions, but we are at billions now.
Yeah.
And I feel like everyone involved, especially the people who created these characters and were part of them, like, to not give them something seems kind of like, I don't know, rude. And obviously business is business and Disney is ruthless, but man, you gotta just sometimes, same thing when it came with Scarlett Johansson, sometimes just like be a good person, just like a little bit. Like goodwill goes a long way sometimes.
You mentioned the ScarJo stuff. I think I read that Marvel is now like redoing all existing contracts because of that. And I don't know if that's, we would like to think that is because they are adding stuff in to help their different actors and actresses with Disney Plus releases. It's most likely to cover their ass.
Right. No, the takeaway wasn't like, wow, we did ScarJo wrong.
Right.
The takeaway was, how do we prevent this from happening in the future?
100%. Yeah.
Corporations.
Yeah.
They're super.
Yeah. I'm trying to find that story real quick. Go ahead, Bronze.
It's worth noting that I read this on Comics Beat and I pulled it up to double check, but this isn't the first time that an artist has filed a copyright termination notice with Marvel Disney. And last time it did go in their favor. So Jack Kirby, the Jack Kirby estate did the same thing. They filed 45 copyright termination notices on a bunch of different Marvel characters and were kind of embroiled in this battle with Disney Marvel. And then the courts ruled that Kirby's work was work for hire. And so Disney kind of won, but then they settled with the family. And they think that this is basically going to happen this time. So, courts basically have...
what's going to happen.
Yeah, precedent has kind of been set that comics that are created for a label, like when you're a contractor, are work for hire. And they basically don't have to pay you a dime, which breaks my heart because these are the people that have created some of the most iconic characters of all time. They pour their heart and their love and their soul into like these characters and making them iconic. And it sucks that, they have to do it. I don't know. I think that that's what's choking out the comic book industry. I could go on this rant for an hour. I think it's the distributors having a chokehold on and a monopoly on who gets to distribute comics, the very poor cuts they give to comic book stores. Talk to any comic book artist or writer, their horrible predatory deals with these publishers and the very small amounts they get paid, despite like they are the reason the fact that comics get made. That's what's killing the comics books industry. so many people think it's the movies. No, I think the movies drive the comic book industry. I think people will go watch a movie like Eternals, and then when you go and look online, the graphic novels and the compilations are all sold out.
Right. Yeah.
But like, I think the reason we haven't seen, like, I think the reason that we're seeing comics kind of like taper off or die, or we're not seeing new iconic characters come out as frequently and kind of blow up the way we used to see like older comic book characters. I think that's because, like, what motivation do you really have to sit here and come up with an amazing character and amazing canon when you know that some company is going to go make billions of dollars off of it, and you're still living in your mom's apartment, barely making ends meet as a freaking contractor, not even as a full-time employee. You know, sorry, thank you. I just had to go on that because
No, but
their
that's-
No, rant
court's
away.
rulings on this in the past has been horrible.
Yeah, the comic industry is like, it's crazy lopsided and totally weird how it works. Like, a lot of people can mention the fact that, like, oh, you know, after this show came out, runs of this, you know, Series X sold out. It's like, yeah, but that's like not how life normally works, right? It's, you know, the comics come out and then, like, you know, that's kind of it. And it's rare that a TV show or a movie or something blows up and then people are like, oh, I want to know what happens and I want to read the rest of this and I want to see, like, it's a different ecosystem where you add in all these other things and then sell the comics. And even if those comics sell, the dude who was contracted to do like the art isn't making hard bank off of that. That's not how that works.
Right.
And so it seems like, you know, people are like, well, it's not even him, it's like his kids. Yeah, but imagine if, I don't know, someone in your family did something amazing and then 50 years later people started making billions of dollars off of that work. You would be like, time out. What?
Where give me like $1 million. Come on.
Yeah, like, are you kidding me? Like,
Yeah.
You're not gonna. I get it wasn't me. I didn't do that stuff, but you're still using the work that my dad like spent his life working on. Clearly, we should see some of that. I don't know. I can sympathize. I understand that
Well,
they didn't directly do it, but like, come on.
Right.
The kid in question is also someone that has been working really hard to preserve Ditko's kind of body of work and
Yeah.
considers himself like a Steve Ditko historian and has been questioned on this multiple times about, like, well, he didn't really like talking about his Marvel history and his past with Marvel. Like, why would you work so hard to preserve it? And he actually went on the record and said something about how um, his uncle saved every article that ever mentioned Spider-Man, like up until recent history, would like sit and collect all the articles and everything that had to do with this character. So he was like, I think in some regards, even though he didn't talk about it openly, like, it was something that he held close to his heart. And so he's carried on that legacy of like trying to document and sort of preserve like all of his uncle's work. So it's not just like some shithead kid that is
Right.
coming up out of nowhere and saying, well, I need this money, so go ahead and give me a cut. No, this is somebody that took an active interest in his life and his work and has like tried to kind of keep that alive. And so even if you wanted to make that argument, first of all, I think that's a silly argument. You know, it's his estate, and if they feel like they have the right to it, I think they do. But it's also not, like I said, it's not some like money grubbing kid that just popped up out of nowhere that's like, oh, let me get a piece of this. And also to address one of the comments in chat that was like, oh, like, but this is every company. It's actually not true. If you look at even an industry as small as this one, right? Like tabletop RPGs and streaming, I have signed contracts for companies where I still get the rights to my character. And if they ever make merch with just my character on it, I get a percentage of that money. And they cannot make decisions about my character or recast that character because the character is a joint creation of mine and the company's. This is in the tabletop RPG industry. We're not talking about DC and Marvel that have billions of dollars to throw around. We're talking about much smaller companies.
Yeah.
And so there are comic book publishers coming out even now, like TKO Presents, that do not have these predatory contracts, that do not have these incredibly like abusive sort of working conditions. And so I think it's kind of a bad faith argument to say, oh, well, that's everyone, because we're seeing smaller companies, smaller publishers, and some bigger ones doing exactly that, like giving creators or giving artists the rights to their work and also paying them fairly and also giving them the ability to sort of like negotiate a deal where they get a percentage of that if the character blows up.
Yeah. Look, at the end of the day, the simplest explanation is like, sure, these kids, they're not kids now, but like the children didn't
Yeah.
create these characters, but neither did Disney. And Disney's making a ton of money off of them. And, you know, it feels like at that point, you know, them saying like, well, it's our stuff is, I mean, that's equally unfair. So,
Yep.
You know, if you want to break it down.
Yeah. Well,
And I mean, a lot of
see what happens.
passion-based industries are like this because the reality is, you know, we see this in the games industry too. The reality is like for a lot of us, that's a dream.
Mhm.
You know, so even if we don't like the contract, it's a dream to work on X, Y, or Z game or at X, Y, or Z company or like a Marvel comic or a DC comic. And I think they know that. You know what I mean? Like, because that's like
Look.
that's like a dream come true.
Oh, they 100%
to
know
have
that, yeah.
Look,
But
I'm not going to name names. Certain companies that are a little bit blue, certain companies, they definitely are aware that people want to work with them
Oh,
when it comes to
100%.
video game space, and they abuse the hell out of it.
Yeah.
And having been there and worked with them and seen how they abuse the hell out of it, it is absolutely a thing that happens. Because I know a million people who are like, oh, I want to work there. It's my dream to work there. And every single one of them, every conversation I've ever had with this, they've been like, well, this was a mistake. And yeah, gaming companies are just as equally, you know, people, when you talk about like people who like, oh, I want to go work at Disneyland. It's my dream to go work at Disneyland. And then afterwards you hear the stories and you're like, oh boy. Yeah, companies 100% thrive off of your love for them, and they feel like they can get away with more because you're willing to forgive more because you love them so much. You know, it's sick and twisted, but that's like, it's real. It exists.
It's true. The company's company. It's
and
not a
even this
person.
whole thing of like, oh, everything you make while you're under contract for us, you're not even we're not even talking about salaried employees. These people do not have
like
consistent
contractors.
income.
Yeah.
Yeah. These people do not have consistent income. They don't have benefits. They have nothing. They have to pay like the weird taxes on contractor taxes. And you're still going to try to own everything they make? Like, this such BS. They're contractors. If you're going to do that, at least give them a full-time job. And then, yeah, sure. We're talking about contractors. So seeing people cape for this billionaire company that can, first of all, definitely afford to pay Ditko's estate it's just so mind-boggling to me because I as somebody with a lot of friends in the industry, these artists and writers do not make what you think they make. And when you see how much money their work generates, you should care about them getting fairly compensated, because some of the best writers and artists that have come out of Marvel and DC do not work there anymore. They have gone to indie companies where they get to own their comics, and this just means the properties you love are going to be dog shit in 20 years. You know, because we need our Chris Claremonts and our Hickmans to you know, carry these properties. Without them, Marvel is not who you should be caping for. You should be caping for these writers that establish these amazing canons and these amazing characters. Because without them, this is nothing. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
There you go.
No, look. If anyone wants to know the quality of a writer's worth, I simply offer them Game of Thrones seasons 1 through whatever.
Correct. Yeah, it's a great example.
Just, you know, that is the quality of writing very obvious when it declines, and who wrote what. Just putting it out there.
It's true.
To the world.
It's true.
There's your explanation. Yeah, simple.
I did want to read the statement that the CEO of Disney, Bob Chapek, put out regarding the contracts in a post-ScarJo legal world. We've got a deal that's conceived under a certain set of conditions that actually results in a movie that's being released in a completely different set. So there's a bit of reset that's going on right now. And ultimately, we'll think about that as we do our future talent deals and plan for that and make sure that's incorporated. Chapek recently said at an event. But right now, we've got sort of this middle position where we're trying to do right by the talent. I think the talent's trying to do right by us. And we're sort of just figuring out our way to bridge the gap. So, yeah. I don't think there's been any other, at least public, movement on the ScarJo case in terms of where they're going with that. But probably won't. We'll probably just hear that it got like settled out of court.
I don't think we'll even hear that.
You don't even think we'll get it got settled? Do you think they'll just completely there'll be some sort of like you can't talk about this at all type situation?
The fact that Scarlett Johansson put it out there, that was like the "don't make me make this worse for you" shot.
Sure, yeah.
And from this point, most of the time, any disputes like this, you never hear about.
Yeah,
rarely. And so I think that this is one of those things where she was pissed. And she was like, fine, you don't want to mess with me? Fine. And so, yeah, I'm pretty sure from now on we'll hear nothing. And then, like, one day we'll hear, like, a thing in the future about, like, oh, yeah, it was resolved. Like, that kind of thing. And that'll be it. That's all we'll hear. Yeah.
And then ScarJo will, like, get into her $3 billion jet and fly away.
That, for some reason, has Mickey Mouse on the side.
It's true.
Oh, this is my new jet.
It's Mickey Mouse's private jet. It's actually correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I don't think it helped that like so many A-list actors immediately came out and were like,
totally.
We've already felt this way.
Yeah.
Like, because like just about every AAA film that came out after the lawsuit became public, the actors on it were like, same.
Yeah.
You know, our movie is also going to Netflix. And, you know, I wondered about the cut of that. I think Emily Blunt was saying this about A Quiet Place or the other film she was in, the one that's based off a Disney ride, which I'll never get over
Jungle
that. But anyways, thank you. But, you know, just about every actor that had a film coming out, I think I'm so bad at names. Emma Stone from was saying it about Cruella.
Yep.
Like, I don't think that helped the case. I think Disney was probably like, dang it, we should have like stopped, like, because Scarlett has a lot of star power and she has a lot of friends in the industry. I'm not saying that's why they agreed with her, but I think it was popular to agree with her.
Well,
and
yeah. I mean, she's like the highest earning female actress, I think, of the past like 2 or 3 years. Like Kevin Feige was even saying, like, just fucking pay her. Like, what are you doing? So
it's a lot of influence.
Yeah, 100%. But I do agree with what Jesse said. We'll probably never hear the outcome of any of that because, you know, if I'm Disney, I don't want any more tarnishing of the company, right? Like, I don't want to deal with any more of that. So I will pay a little bit extra to make sure that stuff can't be spoken about via a contract. And yeah, that's usually how that stuff goes. So that was kind of the biggest news. I didn't see any other things that I was going to bring up. You guys have any other news stuff you want to bring in here? Or should we move on to the Party Thor episode of What If?
Just kind of a commentary, which is that it kind of sucks, like when you love these properties and they're like a big part of your upbringing or you're very passionate about them and they belong to a company that maybe doesn't always act the greatest, because then you feel weird about supporting them, which is why I think we try to hold them accountable. So that, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm going to Disneyland next week and I'm so excited to go to the Avengers campus, but I don't think that negates me saying like, also you should pay your artists what they're worth so that I can go to the Avengers campus and buy a Doctor Strange hoodie and not feel like a piece of shit. I would love that.
Doctor Strange? No, I'm sorry.
Well, they have like a collector's shop.
Oh,
and I'm
Jesus.
gonna do my best.
I can never be allowed to go into that store.
I'm worried.
No,
I'm really worried.
You're not allowed to talk. I'm going to write it into the contract, Bronze. You're not allowed to talk about the collector store when you visit.
I'm going to send you photos. Be like, do you want me to pick you up anything, JP?
Don't do it.
Take photos of everything.
Don't do it. I bought a Magneto statue on a whim. I just was like, Magneto's pretty cool, right, guys? 30 minutes later, I had spent like $400. It's bad. I don't need photos of that. Get out of here. You should.
Jesse, what's wrong?
You should take
You
some
look depressed.
photos of that stuff, though.
I've transcended this lifestyle. I no longer purchase things of a material nature.
Get out of here. What are you talking about?
I'm so sorry. I don't know what you refer to.
Oh my God, this guy.
I'm beyond such mortal whims.
He's with Lilith now.
I'm with Lilith now.
He's gonna go eat
I'm
dinner in the
bartering
darkness.
souls.
Yeah, he's in the souls business. All right, let's talk what if. I kind of already gave my thoughts. Jesse, I don't think this series is going anywhere.
Hey, JP, what did I tell you way back those many weeks ago? What did I say about this? It's going to be like, what if it's bad?
Well, let me state this, because I don't think what if is bad. It's exactly what I said last week. It's just, it doesn't tie in. So I'm just like, whatever.
The what if idea is gimmicky and always has been, and has been worth like one comic.
Yeah.
But like an entire series of what ifs is like, okay. Yeah. Well, look, it's 100% becoming a thing.
Yeah.
Next episode is going to be, a what if Avengers. It's happening. And then you may change your tune. You may be like, I actually like it now because they're all together.
I don't know. I don't even know if that happens, though, if I will actually like it. I really don't. So, by the way, the Marvel put out 2 hours ago a tweet that, so if you watch this week's episode, obviously this would be a little bit spoilery. At the end of it, there is a reveal of Ultron kind of stepping out amongst a bunch of Ultron folk. And he's got all the Infinity Stones. And Marvel tweeted out the 8th episode of What If is Ultron is coming. And it's got the image of Ultron with all the Infinity Stones. That looks to be like Vision more so than Ultron. Like a fusion of the two of them.
Well, that's what happened last time.
Yeah. What do you mean?
At the end of the episode.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So this might be the first continuation, possibly, of like, or maybe this just tells the story of how this came to be. I don't know. Hard to say. Why does he have 2 soul stones though? Oh yeah, that is true. He does have 2 soul stones. He's got one in his head and one on his chest.
You know why he has those? You know why he has those?
Well, yeah, he's been to 2 different realities.
Absolutely. 100%. Because he's crossed through different realities. And more importantly, it's going to tie all the things together. Watch and believe.
I don't know if that makes it better, though.
I'm not saying it make it better.
The only thing that's going to make it better is if, like, a real...
It ties in. That's what you wanted.
I think that's what I wanted, but I don't know if that's actually going to make a difference this time around. I don't know. I think I'm just, like, too down and out on the What If brand that I don't know if anything can, like, save it for me right now.
I thoroughly enjoyed this last episode. I don't know what you're talking about. I loved it. I had so much fun with it. It was nice to shut my brain off and not... I knew what it was going in.
Sure.
I knew it was going to be dumb. I knew it was going to be silly, and I loved every minute of it. I thought it was super fun. I was like, yeah, all right, this works.
Yeah. I don't think it's, like, poorly made. I think for me, it's just, like, there's no... I guess there's, like, no stakes. Is maybe a way that I would say that I'm not interested. I'm not like I don't get like excited on a Wednesday. It's like, oh, right, it's Sunday. I need to watch this to talk about it tomorrow type situation.
Sure.
Which doesn't necessarily speak too great for the show in my eyes. But yeah, I don't think the episodes are bad. I still think like from an animation perspective, they have been top notch. They haven't like dropped that at all up until this point. And like, I don't dislike watching them. They're fun, but I'm not, I guess I'm like looking for that like giant continuation of the MCU when I watch like an MCU thing, and just with it not being there, I just lose interest into it ultimately, which is where I guess, it circles back to what I was saying last week as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts on it. Bronze, did you like the What If?
Okay.
How'd you feel about it?
Am I going to be alone on this? Wow.
I
didn't expect that going
did like it. I think the end was kind of stupid, but I did like it going into it. I don't know why. I think it's because this one kind of leaned into the whole idea of like, what if is a thought experiment and it doesn't need to be serious? Because my entire complaint about most of the other episodes has been they try to do too much in an episode and they try to recap a whole film in an episode,
Right.
And I think for me, I don't really care if they come together in the end or not. Like, I think I'm okay if they have some, like, I don't think every single thing Disney puts out has to have an impact on the greater MCU. I think that having an MCU has kind of made fans feel that way. Like, well, why do I need to watch Falcon and Winter Soldier? What's the point of watching that? Is this going to have an impact on the films? And it's like, well, that kind of really narrows like what types of stories we can tell if we only concern ourselves with what impact this is going to have on the MCU. What impact is this going to have on the films? I personally don't feel like watching these like shows and movies should be like, well, I have to watch this because this is important to the MCU. I don't think it should feel like homework, right, JP? So if like for us, it's going to have to be that way because we have a show about it, right?
Right,
But
right.
I'm not overly devoted to like, oh, I really like the show, but it doesn't have an impact on the MCU, so I don't care about it. I guess I just don't view the medium that way. So to me, I guess my distaste isn't whether or not it comes together. I think it's like how the episodes are sometimes cut and paste has been what like really annoyed me previously.
Sure.
My favorite episode thus far has been the Doctor Strange episode.
Same here.
But there have been like episodes like the zombie ones where they just try to tonally, they're all over the place. They're not comedic. They're not horror. They kind of bounce between the two. And then they're like, oh wait, we have to tell a full story. And then somewhere they feel that it just cuts forward or has like a an ending that's kind of a silly payoff. I think what I liked about this one is at least it was tonally consistent. At no point were they like, wait, this is serious now. This is a serious story now. At no point were they like, oh, this was about Party Thor, but like now we have to recap the entire plot of the Captain America film. Like it was its own story. It knew what it was, which was a joke. It did not try to be anything other than a joke. It was literally about Thor being afraid of being in trouble with his mom. So I actually liked it. I actually liked that it was just kind of doing its own thing instead of being like, we have to recap the entire plot of Ant-Man and also somehow make sense of this film. Because, I mean, we've seen those movies. We don't need to get a recap. I would much rather just have something new and funny. So I liked some of that. I think, like I said, the only thing that kind of was like a little bit like just weird or off to me was just like some of, I don't know, like some of the end bits. I was like I don't understand where this is like really going, but okay.
Yeah.
Or it's like, my mom's coming. I almost wish the episode had cut like right when Jane snitches on him. I wish that had kind of been like just kind of like the end, like a Looney Tunes type of ending versus them being like, well, now we've got to fix everything before the end because my mom is coming. Also, by the way, Jane.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. Also, by the way, Jane, like, I know you snitched on me, but you're really pretty. So do you want to date? This is kind of like,
well,
how did he even know that she snitched on him? There was no way for him to know that.
That's one of the things that I don't know if I have an issue with, but every time it happens, I'm like, right, of course. And it's that they have these expected, like they have a checklist, right? And within each episode, XYZ has to occur They just have to get to that point differently than they did in, the MCU that we know. And I think that also sets up a lot of, like, some of that stuff is cool, but some of that stuff is like, right, they just had to hit the checklist, right? Like, of course, right, okay, yeah. And so I think that is part of it that I lose, like, a lot of viewing pleasure from, where it's just like, okay, right, here's the checklist, I get it, I understand. But I also think that, like, there were fun parts. I enjoyed watching Captain Marvel, like, beat the shit out of Thor, right? Because, like, we'd never actually ever see that in the proper MCU, where they can really just, like, fully go through their actual potential as characters and just, throw people from London all the way over into the US, right? It was like an onslaught scenario from back in the day, where it's like, oh, sweet, we actually get to see something this absurd. Someone in chat said, Oris says a DBZ fight. Like, yeah, it pretty much was like a DBZ fight in the MCU, which is cool. So I'm excited to see that type of stuff. But then the Looney Tunes, which I think is a great way to phrase the, like, end of that show. The show always ends on the most interesting part that could be cool. And, like,
yes.
It's like, go like 5 more minutes. And so maybe that's what's happening now with this Ultron Vision thing that they apparently said is going to be this week's episode, where they do go a little bit more than, they have in the episodes. But, like, the teases are the most interesting aspects of the episodes for me, for probably every single episode that they've done. So I don't know if that just means they're good at teasing, and or if, like, they're leading to something else, which, if that pays off,
I have to believe they're leading to something else, or else.
But if they aren't, but here's the thing: what happens in a world where they aren't, Jesse, is that
in a world where they're not, I literally will say, there's no reason to watch What If.
Okay, yeah.
You know what, though? Because this is a good point. I think the one thing that, regardless of whether you're enjoying the series or you're not enjoying the series, I think the one thing that we're all looking for is a little bit of satisfaction. Because other than the Doctor Strange episode, and I'm not saying every single episode needs to have a clean ending. I'm just saying, like, you need to give the audience some type of payoff. So I feel like, other than that Doctor Strange episode, there was none. It was just like,
the Star-Lord episode I thought had a payoff where, you got to go home.
No, you're right.
I thought that was a very good one.
Yeah, no, that definitely had a payoff. I did like that this kind of was an extrapolation on the sort of theory posited by Owen Wilson's character in Loki. I did like that because he says of Loki that Mobius, he says, you exist to help other people become the best versions of themselves. So I do like that this episode was actually more about Loki than it was about Thor, because it basically talks about, well, if we substitute Loki, if we substitute him, put him on the frost giant planet where they don't grow up together, they're around each other. He no longer has that effect where Thor becomes the best version of himself, right? Like, he is now, if he is not placed in the contrarian position, Thor becomes a petulant child.
It's true.
So I did like that they kind of touched on that, where it's like, Loki has to be bad. If Loki wasn't bad, then the universe would fall apart, essentially. I do like that they explained why, Mobius felt that way, or why the writers might feel that way.
Yeah. Someone in my chat just had a great point, Jesse. Then Or says, by the way, the Ultron is from a different timeline. That's why the Watcher was surprised at the end of the episode.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely.
I didn't catch that. That might just speak to how, like, closely I'm watching
that's why
the
he
show.
has two. That's why he has a stone here, and he has a stone in his suit. More importantly, it's also how he can have a soul stone without having sacrificed someone.
Right.
Like I guarantee we're gonna find out that. I mean, I was even thinking, even though I don't know that it's possible, that because it's supposed to be Ultron, because at first I was like, oh, is that Vision from the zombie episode? And then he went and murdered the hell out of zombie Thanos and took zombie Thanos' stuff. But I was like, no, they say it's Ultron, so it must be Ultron, not Vision.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, there literally can be any possible outcome here. But yeah, oh yeah, no, this is wackadoo territory. It's gonna get crazy. I'm very excited.
I hope
What
it's
if that's
James
just
Spader.
a technicality, though? What if it's just like, well, Vision becomes Ultron?
Maybe. Who knows?
Could
I
be.
have no, like maybe, yeah. I'm very curious what it all means or how it all works out. All I know is
Like, it
there
could
is
be
still
like
one
without.
clip out there where they do the Avengers pose, and it is Gamora, it is T'Challa Star-Lord, it
Yeah.
is Party Thor, it is, I'm trying to think who else is in that image, but it's like literally all the characters we met so far.
Spider-Man.
And I
That
feel
could
like
in there.
just be. I'm not disagreeing. I also think there's going to be an Avengers, but I'm also going to say that could just be promotion of showing all of the characters they're teasing in one sweeping shot, because
they would
there was a trailer of the Hulk bursting out of the Hulkbuster suit for Infinity War, and that scene never happened in the film.
Well, that's because, but they
Right? Like,
purposely.
I'm not crazy, right? I don't think that was a fever dream. There's like a scene in one of the trailers of the Hulkbuster suit, and then it just tears open and the Hulk comes out of it. And that never happened.
I don't
And I
know
was
that
waiting for it because
that's
I'm a Hulk fan. And I was waiting for it. So now, and like, there's a lot of people that are like, that never happened. I don't remember that trailer. And I'm like, so now I'm like, did it happen?
Well, I know for a fact that they put the Hulk in a bunch of scenes rather than the Hulkbuster to make it so people wouldn't know that Hulk couldn't like go green. I know they did that for sure. Just to cover that plot point. And they did some of that stuff with Endgame too, where they like altered the footage. But this is literally like purposefully done. They do that like crossfade between the two where it shows the original Avengers and then the new Avengers.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't include a new Avengers if there wasn't ever going to be a new Avengers thing. All I know is that the next 2 episodes are supposed to be longer than the previous 7.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
So
there's only 2 more episodes. So if this is the one where like it all starts to come together.
Clearly the next one has to be about Gamora. 100% Gamora's in it. I refuse to accept anything. There's no previews, no trailers, no nothing, but I'm telling you Gamora's in it because that's how we get Thanos Gamora.
The preview is Ultron.
No, the preview is the previous clip of Ultron and then previous clips of other previous episodes. There's nothing new being shown.
Ultron is coming. The 8th episode of Marvel Studios. What if?
Right. But
you're saying there's like a lead up to that?
100, like he's here. He came already. So we need to get Gamora into the plot. And oh shit! It's the Gamora from the universe where Ultron killed Thanos. And she's out for revenge to get to kill Ultron.
Could be. How does she get there though? Infinity Stones?
I don't know. Maybe Sakaar? Right? Because wasn't there a rumor about one of the episodes that we thought was cut about Tony Stark and Gamora fighting on Sakaar?
Yeah. Well, I think we saw footage of that or something.
Yeah, like I thought it was cut because it didn't make any sense with the episode list, and we heard that one episode was moved to season 2. So that could be it.
Do we think that is the big thing here that the Watcher gets involved?
100%.
That's like the final thing that happens in like episode 9 where the Watcher like opens up a portal and some fucking people from another universe show up.
There is no, you know what? Maybe they could do it for as simple as it looks cool, but there is like Bronze was talking about writers earlier and good writing. There is no reason for them to visually represent the Watcher getting closer and closer every single episode without him finally involving himself in the last one.
Yeah.
That is like classic payoff. We're literally, go back, watch them. He's at one point he's like behind the stars, and the next episode he's slightly in front of the stars, and by the time literally he's like looking over and talking to people. He has a conversation with Doctor Strange. Like literally he's like in the world. And I feel like that's him being like, I gotta do something about this. This is out of control. 100% it's happening. I refuse to look, I'm on the train that he comes in, he's like, stop this shit. Yeah, it's gonna be great.
I'm getting excited for that to occur. I swear to God, if it doesn't, I'm gonna be so upset because I've already written it. Like, I think I've fully written this show off. It's taken too long for them to like build all this up. And so if it doesn't actually happen, I'm just gonna be like, well, that was a big nothing burger.
I mean, look, for as much as the Watcher says, like, I only watch, that dude's a liar. That guy be getting involved all the time. Don't let him trick you. That is Watcher 101. He's like, oh, yeah, what? Oh, I just moved that. Okay, we're good. Everything's fine.
I mean,
don't worry.
It does fit the narrative that, like, what Loki did fucked up all of realities. So for this to be the case, now the Watcher, like, getting involved would further that narrative in a lot of ways.
I mean, speaking of Loki, this is super unconfirmed. So consider it rumor. I'm not going to look it up because I also don't want to be spoiled. But apparently there's lots of previs footage out there of
what is
the new Doctor Strange movie. Literally the
pre VFX work.
Yeah. Where it looks super jank and you're not sure if it's real or not because like anyone could kind of make it. Like if you have a little bit of graphics know-how, you can kind of fake these. So I don't know that it's true, but there's a lot out there and I'm not going to get into it. But there is rumor that one of the characters from What If will be in the new Doctor Strange.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I saw those rumors as well. Yeah.
And so, and there's your connection. I honestly have no clue. That could all be BS because there's other rumors that are like, what? Why would that be in Doctor Strange? But I don't know. It's so far off that who knows what the Marvel Universe is going to look like in a year.
Yeah.
I mean, What If could actually be important in a way that, right now it doesn't seem like it is, mostly because the storytelling they're doing. I think, What If, like I said, as a concept is fun, but it's not great storytelling. It never is. It's like a thought experiment. And Bronze is totally right. Like, there's a great, one of my favorite history books is literally called What If, and it's just about history. But it's all just like a 3-page article a dude wrote that's like, what if the Battle of the Bulge was fought with handkerchiefs? And it's like, okay, cool. Like, that was fun to think about, but like, it's nonsense.
Right.
And so it's like, what if America was still a colony of England? It's like, what if? Still doesn't, like, it's not,
It's definitely the type of thing where I think at the end of this year, after we've all seen Spider-Man, we'll start to kind of know a little bit of like how crazy Marvel's willing to get. Right? Mm-hmm. Like, well, that film is going to answer a lot of questions on like, oh, we're going to get that crazy moving forward. Right?
It's scary though, too. I think that's why they need things like What If, because like, as we've seen with DC's publication history, it kind of sucks to work in a canonized universe because you can't play. And it's important to be able to play because something that you might think is very different from what's been done might be what reinvigorates and excites the genre. Like, let's take a look at the new God of War versus the old one, right? I don't think most people foresaw Kratos having interplay with, this kind of Viking theming and like mythology, right?
Yeah.
But yet it's happening and this game is very popular and people love it because it's new and it's different. So when we start looking at comic books and things like the MCU, they don't have this ability to put out a film that's weird, that's different, and then next time say, okay, that didn't work. We're going to go back to the original formula.
Right.
Like, they have to acknowledge that this happened and they have to address that this happened. And then people hold it over their heads for the next 30 years. People don't leave it alone, So it's like one of those things where it's like, that's why we keep getting reboots because it's like, well, I don't like that. So now I have to redo it and do it in my own way versus building on what was already there. I do like that, Thor 2 is so bad because it really gives us at least it was different, they tried something, in my opinion, it really did not work. And now we can have Thor Ragnarok and the other movies moving forward. And we have tried this strange theming, right? But it sucks because it's like like on one hand, people say, well, no one in the comic books really dies, right? But I remember when Infinity War came out, and there was a lot of people that did not know that the snap was going to be undone. A lot of us who've read the comics knew. There's so many people that are like, well, Black Panther's dead. I'm not watching. This is bullshit. How
Right.
dare you? So it's like, okay, so you don't want your characters to be bulletproof, but if they die, that's not good either. So like, what do we do here? You know, if we kill Wolverine, that's horrible. How dare you? That was my favorite character. If we leave him alive, the only thing that's died in comics is death. You know, is this entire thing where it's like, oh yeah, kill off characters, just not my character. And so I feel like Iron Man is the first time that we've really had like yeah, this character is gone. Eventually someone else will inhabit that space, but this character is dead and gone, and now Captain America too. This is like the first time that they were playing with that notion. And I think Marvel is still in a space where they're trying to feel that out because everything they do is permanent. And if they undo stuff, you know, now we have the multiverse, like it does give them a little bit more space to play, because if they do something different and weird and people are like, I hate that, I can't believe you did that, they just now have gotten the ability to be like, but that was in an alternate timeline, so that didn't actually happen, that character didn't actually die. You know, does that make sense? But it's like a tricky space to navigate where they have to be, I'm gonna just say it, as a fan of the MCU, the movies are formulaic as hell.
Yeah, well, they have to be in a lot of ways.
They all adhere to a formula.
Yeah.
Because if they didn't, people would lose their minds, you know?
Well, there's nothing wrong with being formulaic if the formula's good, right? Like, it's not inherently a bad word or a bad thing. It just means they found the right recipe to make a good movie. I think, if you look at Shang-Chi, that was the culmination of making origin movies for 10 years, right? They figured out how to tell you an origin story without feeling like an origin story. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see. We got 2 more episodes left of the old What If. We'll get to see if Jesse's right or if the show really truly is bad.
There's just some things that haven't been answered yet, and they were in that first trailer. And you know what? If they get us, especially me, if they get me with like fake footage, got me. But I just sent you 2 images. One's a joke, but also one is from the original poster, just in the chat here. The first one cracked me up because that's the Watcher being the Watcher, and I love that image.
Apparently he loves pizza.
Yeah, the Watcher's he's waiting. Like all of us, he's waiting for that pizza.
He just wants his pizza.
Yeah, he's just waiting. The poor man is just so hungry. And then the second image,
we know he's gonna burn his mouth on it too. Like he's not gonna wait for it to cool.
He can't wait. Are you kidding me? Yeah. He's like, what if I take a bite? And then there's the second image. Literally is Peter Parker in the Doctor Strange cape.
Yeah.
When does that happen? That was on the first poster.
Didn't that happen in Zombies?
No, he didn't wear the cape at all.
No, it saved him.
He did not put the cape on.
It saved him.
It saved him once, but he didn't
become Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
Like for the most of that, it was on the head. It was on Ant-Man.
No, he wore it. Once again, I feel like I am living in a parallel reality. It saved him and then lifted.
The Watcher's watching us right now. Look for the eyes. I'm not going to intervene. I can't help Jesse here. He wore
it for a little bit. Does not count as. Look, here's the thing. All right, here's the thing. This is what I'll say. Bronze, you are correct in that he wore it for a little bit. I think my definition of what this image shows is something totally different than what we got.
Yeah.
And if that is
what
we got,
okay.
If what we got is like Peter Parker wearing the cape rather than Doctor Strange Peter Parker, then that is trash.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I think that's what it is.
Then that is a trash promo. And I hate that.
That's fair.
I hate that that's the way. And it makes me dislike the zombie episode even more.
The zombie episode was horrible.
Yeah.
It was the worst. Was it worst? I don't know.
I honestly thought it was the worst one so far.
Yeah.
And if anything, it should have been the best. Should have been fascinating. Was not. Hated it. From start to finish, I was like, tonally, this is wrong. Like character wise, this is weird. Like the Vision plot was bad. Like all of it, not great. So yeah, all right.
If the payoff is episode 9, the Watcher is basically Nick Fury and like puts together the fucking quote unquote Avengers from all these different parallel universes that we've all seen, I'll go back and probably rewatch every episode of the show because then it'll be like, oh, the payoff's worth it. Right.
There's no way. God, I hate here's the problem. We've had this conversation before.
Oh, we write better stories than they're able to tell. Yeah.
Yeah, Disney does not give a shit about telling a good story sometimes. But the worst part is knowing that there are all these episodes where it's like, and then we save the day. But really, the last 2 seconds is crazy.
Yeah.
And if none of that has a payoff in any way, it is truly the most insulting piece of media, because it isn't even like, well, we did a thing that then caused something else to happen. Like, you know, if they were creative, right? And let's say, for example, in episode 3, the impetus of what happened in episode 3 was caused by something and you didn't know what it was. Then like episode 8, you see that there's a zombie Thanos. And you're like, oh shit, zombie Thanos is what caused that. And like they all connected in a weird way. That would be fascinating.
Yeah.
But they're just throwing scenes at the end that are just like, what if this extra thing happened? Which is like a trash way of storytelling.
Yeah.
So if it doesn't connect, I'm flipping tables. I'm going to be like, garbage. Yeah.
Well, we'll
yeah.
find out. We'll get an inkling of what's about to happen this week, and next week we'll find out. What's that, Bronze?
Since we're talking about what if in broad strokes a little bit.
Yeah.
I have to say, my Hotel Brown's opinion of the day.
Uh-oh.
Is it just me, or does what if not meet the standard of the other Marvel stuff we've seen?
And with what being the criteria? The standard of what?
Just visually, like, just like, I don't know what. Like, I just expected, like, a different bar, because this is, like, the first, like, Marvel thing that I'm like, why are the cuts so awkward? Like, why is this so awkwardly cut?
It is
right?
literally
Like,
designed to be filler.
It
and
really
that's
is
what
filler,
bothers
yeah.
me, because we haven't had something like that come out of like the Disney Plus Marvel family yet, right? Like,
Right.
where you start to wonder, like, did you guys have budget? Because, and that's not me knocking like the art style or anything, because I said in the first episode I actually really like it. It's like the cuts. It's like where it's cut, where I'm like, did you guys not have money to finish this thought? It's like they were like, well, listen, we only have budget for 20 minutes, so every episode has to be exactly 20 minutes. Whereas if you look at other Marvel properties or other Disney Plus properties, I should specify, the episodes are different lengths because they're telling the story they're telling. And
Right.
Mandalorian was like this too. Like, Disney Plus doesn't seem to really care to adhere to, oh, it has to be exactly 30 minutes. It has to be exactly 40 minutes. Like the Mandalorian episode lengths were all over the place, and other Disney Plus properties have been like kind of up and down and all over the place. But like when it comes to this show, it seems like they had like a $10 budget. And they were like, listen, we have $10. So we're going to hire some of the actual voice actors, but not all of them.
Yeah.
And if we do hire them, they have exactly 3 lines, and we need to have, cut this, cut that, and make it fit into this 20-minute thing. Because for some stories, they were able to tell the full story in the allotted time, like the Doctor Strange one and the Star-Lord one. But for other ones, they were not able to tell the story in the whole time, where I'm like, if you guys had another 5 or 10 minutes, you might have actually been able to do something here, but you didn't. So that makes me wonder, like, we know you have money. Why was the ball dropped here? I think I'm having some frame issues on my end, and I don't know why. I'm sorry.
Well, Bronze, I think that the biggest problem is time, right? And you're absolutely right that giving each story the amount of time it needs to like flesh itself out is important. And because everything is like a certain amount of time, some stories simply cannot do that because their scope is too big. And I think, having watched Star Wars Visions this past weekend, I had the exact same problem with that, where there's some of the Star Wars Visions episodes that I'm like, oh, was that good?
Yeah.
And there's some where I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll never watch that one again.
Well,
you know,
it's a little different because it's so many different animation studios. But I get what you're saying. For your point still stands.
Right, but even then, ignore the animation, cuts, edits, the writing, what the story is, the scope of the story. Same thing. Some of the Vision stories are like so big, and some are so small, and it's interesting to see what time and scope can really do to a project, especially when you have to make cuts where it's like, oh, they clearly made a cut here because literally they had to, like, for whatever time reason or whatever. And it sucks that that's the case. And as someone who, even right now in this office, we're going through and like re-editing a whole thing just to make it so cuts look better than what they originally were, because it's noticeable when there is a cut that is out of place or is not covered in some way. It is jarring. And a lot of these episodes have that like massive jarring, like, whoa, okay, next scene, I guess. You're like, all right, here we go. But then they do some things, like in this is the most recent episode, where they take their time with things. Like there's a huge scene where Jane is waking up in bed from, I assume, banging Thor, which is like a whole other thing we should talk about, because like, how's that even work? Needless to say, she wakes up and they do like a whole scene of her like with the phones and the phone fumbling, and they take their time with that.
Right.
They do a whole like bit with Darcy and whatchamacallit, Duck.
Howard the Duck.
Yeah, Howard the Duck. Like they take their time with some things, and then other things they're like, cut. It's I don't know why they do what they do. I can't figure it out.
The weirdest plot line to me about the Party Thor episode, which once again, I like I said, I actually like the majority of it. But the weirdest plot line that I will never understand, so I gotta get y'all's take on it, is this Maria Hill plot line where she's like, also,
she's the director. Is that what you said?
I was like, the fact that she's like, I'm gonna nuke them in case Captain Marvel gets distracted by a cat. And I was like,
yeah,
where is the plot line going? And it legit went nowhere. It was just like her being like, these two people are going to fight. And by the way, I'm going to nuke them because I don't think this woman can do things without getting distracted. And so therefore, and I'm like, and then she was like, never mind. That resolved itself.
Well,
and I'm like,
she might have been in that, because did they ever say why she was director and why Nick Fury wasn't?
Yeah, because Nick Fury he got run over by Korg. That's literally the plot line.
Oh God,
which
you're
is
right.
hilarious.
Yeah, you're right.
I
That's
like
why
that.
she was acting director. Because
But her as a
That's
character
right.
in this is not. It makes no sense with her as a character in anything else.
She's
not the character who's going to be like, let's nuke everyone. Like that does not fit her at all.
Well,
at all.
And I just don't understand why she was doing it, because they didn't make that clear. They did, like, Captain Marvel gave no inclination she was not going to beat Thor into the ground. It was Jane that was saying, maybe we should think about this, right? So, like, her having the nuke contingency was so weird. And then I think it ends in the punchline of the other dude being like, "Aw, we never get to launch our nukes," which was kind of funny.
And that was the Hydra
like,
guy. Yeah, that was Crossbones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just like, why is this a plot line where we're cutting from this really cool fight between Captain Marvel and Thor to like Maria being like, all right, we're gonna hit them with nukes. And I'm like,
it was a little strange. You're not wrong.
why?
Yeah.
Why though? Like, why are you gonna hit them with nukes? And literally the dude's like, well, why are we gonna hit them with nukes? And she's like, in case Captain Marvel gets distracted by a cat. And I'm like,
there's definitely no precedent as to why Maria Hill is so fucking savage in that show. That's why I was asking about her being director, because I forgot that Korg hit Fury. Maybe Fury. I was thinking maybe Fury died or something by a superhero, and so that's why she's like so.
I mean, it
out
wasn't
for
a superhero.
vengeance. But
it was just Korg.
Korg's superhero.
He was really happy. He ran and hit him, and that was it.
Yeah.
well, and then I was like, maybe in this version, if Maria Hill ever becomes the director of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's evil. But then she like doesn't launch the nukes anyway. I thought it would have been cool if like, his mom shows up and she launches the nukes anyway. Like that would have been
And then she just like disappears in the nukes, but they end up on somewhere else.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
she turns to Crossbones and she says, "Hail Hydra." Like that would have been but like this is what I'm saying when I'm like my brain is going faster than because it was just like, no, that didn't go anywhere. And I was like, so is she not evil? I was excited for like the mask off, like, you know, like
Yeah.
She was
I'm a
Red
Skrull
Skull.
or some shit,
That'd
you
be-
know, like just something where she was like, by the way, bitch, I'm evil. And now I nuked Thor and Captain Marvel and his mom. And so now Asgard's going to go to war with Earth and Earth's going to get destroyed anyway. Because it wasn't Thor that destroyed Earth. Earth was always supposed to be destroyed and it was me.
Could be
I don't
the
know,
case.
something like that. I just gave you two different avenues to take that. And I think both were fine.
Yeah.
But, you know,
Well, you're not going to get paid for them.
that it was
Remember?
just like, oh,
You got that bad
throwaway
contract
line.
with Disney, so
I
shouldn't
don't
have
know,
gotten that for
it
free.
was like it was clearly a goof episode, and I think it was fun for the goof. I enjoyed it tremendously.
Yeah.
I think that as per usual, it's like, you know, all right. Look, I'm gonna give a shout out to something that is not at all Marvel.
Okay, let's do it.
Totally DC. This weekend I watched Long Halloween 1 and 2.
How was that?
Go give that a watch.
Yeah.
So good. So
Is it as dark as the
good.
comic?
Yeah. It is straight up like the murder mystery the comic is. It's
That's good.
fantastic. Yeah. And it also made me realize, and I don't know why I didn't realize this before, but having watched it and recently watched The Dark Knight, I was like, oh, this is literally just the plot of Dark Knight. But like the Dark Knight is like Joker is the main villain.
Yeah.
But it's roughly the same plot. And I was like, oh, very good. I don't know where you can watch it. I literally just rented it on Amazon because I was like, I gotta watch these damn things. And I finally sat down and watched them this weekend and was like,
It might be on HBO. HBO Max
DC
or
animation
whatever.
is so good. Yeah. it
DC
was
animation, with the
fantastic.
exception of The Killing Joke, is like fire. So much of it is good. I loved Assault on Arkham too. I remember seeing that, then going to see the first Suicide Squad movie and being like, you had the plot for the film right there. There was some weirdness with the Joker. Like, I don't want to spoil it in case you go watch it, but there was some stuff that I was like, oh, that's a dumb motivation for the Joker. But I remember being like, you had a great prototype for
Was
a
that
movie
Assault on
and
Arkham
said you
2?
made this dog shit. Wait, which one?
I think I remember watching the first one where the Joker's plot, like the Joker was barely in it because like the whole reason they could get to Arkham was because the Joker like had a nuke and Batman was busy. And was the plot. And I was like, first off, that is an incredible setup for like a Suicide Squad mission where like, yeah, everyone's busy with a real problem. You guys go do a thing, which is hilarious to me. I love that movie.
Yeah.
The first Assault on Arkham is like a great
It's amazing.
movie.
I think a lot of the
Watch
stuff
them
DC
DC
makes is
animations.
good.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah, the Harley Quinn show is, if you're like into Venture Brothers and that style of show, the Harley Quinn show is actually like fire. And I like Doom Patrol too. So
Everyone said
DC's
that.
making-
Yeah. You guys have mentioned that before on the show.
It has Brendan Fraser.
I don't know what it is about that. I think maybe I'm just reluctant to like jump into a giant show that I'm not 100% in. I did, if we're talking about other shows, I did watch Foundation on Apple, which is about Isaac
Is that based
Asimov's.
off-
It is.
That's one of my favorite books. I don't know if I could. Is the show good? I don't know if I could watch the show.
The show is not bad. It has a lot of it's the type of show that you can't like half watch. You can't like put it on a TV and then like, you know, browse the internet or look at your phone. You have to pay full attention to. Because if you miss like 1 second of it, you're just like, wait, what the fuck? How did we, like, it's very sci-fi and it's like deep world building for probably 30 to 40 minutes of the first episode. And then the actual plot like starts towards the end of that. There's 2 episodes out, I think, right now. And the second episode definitely like pushes the plot forward a little bit. It's very dense though. I've never read the book, so I don't know like how, if it's 1-to-1 in terms of the storytelling or whatnot, but like very, very dense. If you're a sci-fi nerd and like you're interested in, you know, what humanity would look like 15,000 years from now, and the idea of like there's cloning, and like there's the emperor or the empire who is just like the emperor of the universe, and instead of like having a lineage and whatnot, they just clone him. And there's 3 different versions of him. There's the Dawn, which is the young boy. There's the oh God, there's the middle one. I forgot what it is. There's the Dawn, the whatever, and the Dusk. Maybe the Sunrise or something like that. Or the Day. Yeah, the Day. The Day is the like full grown man, and the Dusk is the elder. And they're all the same person that's just been cloned from an emperor from like 2,000 years ago. And they just keep cloning each other just nonstop. And they all raise each other. It's fucking bizarre. And they're just like a man that exists in the world. And there's like a sky bridge, and the sky bridge blows up, and like 180 million people die or some shit. Just like astronomical numbers. It's interesting. It's very sci-fi. It's on Apple TV though, so that might be a hurdle for some people. But
Yeah, it's kind of why I haven't watched it.
you could grab it and then watch Ted Lasso and watch the best television you've ever seen in the past 10 years. So
I've heard so many good things about Ted Lasso. Eventually, I'm gonna have to break down and get Apple TV. It's just I heard he got like Hulu and Disney and Netflix, and
if you wait 2 weeks, I think all episodes of season 2 will be out. And then you can get like the 7-day free trial from Apple and cancel and binge all 24 episodes of it. That's the play. That's the play.
That's sneaky.
And then you can watch Morning Show, which Apple's got some good shows. For All Mankind's good. Morning Show's good. Defending Jacob is good. If you like spooky stuff, they got some spooky shit there. It's not bad.
the MCU Crew is good.
I hear that's a pretty good show, but a little bit long. Especially today's
I would wait
episode.
until you can get it all 24 episodes.
Yeah, wait till we're done with all
listen.
the sponsored episodes till March 2022. I think you can binge them all.
I am very proud to say that we are still shorter than the Eternals.
Not by much.
This
We
morning.
got to get the shout outs here real quick, or we're going to be going over time. We got to get real quick on those shout outs.
Not by much.
Yeah. So next week we'll do we'll hopefully be singing What If's praises. Maybe I'll switch tunes, or Jesse's gonna be in camp. This show's whatever I've said, not dislike. I don't even know how I feel about the show anymore. I gotta think on that. I gotta ruminate on that. Yeah, we'll do that. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the news. Should we do some
I'm
ranking?
not going to be here next week.
Oh, wait, you're
I
gone. So
believe-
maybe we won't do that. Should we do the final 2
I'm
episodes then on
sorry.
Monday? No, I forgot. You mentioned that to me. That's my mistake, forgetting that. We can just do both episodes then in 2 weeks. And then the week after that, we'll do a ranking episode. That makes it easy.
Wait, do we have Monday off?
Yeah, next
Yeah,
Monday we'll be off.
I
Bronze
have
is
to
gone.
work. But that does mean you'll probably see me and Jesse together at some point, because I am going to be in LA. But Monday at 8 a.m. I am working, so I won't be able to be here.
Uh-oh.
Otherwise, I'd just go to Jesse's house and stream from there.
Uh-oh.
IRL MCU Crew.
Yeah. It's all right. So no show next week. I'm glad I brought this up and you reminded me. We'll be back in 2 weeks with the thoughts on the finale of What If, and then after that we'll get to our ranking episode, which will probably take a while. That'll probably be the length of Eternals, most likely. Yeah.
Cool.
So
And
Cool.
then our dreaded Iron Fist watch along.
could be.
So it begins. So our watch begins.
I mean, it's November 5th. Is that Eternals? I think we'll have 3 weeks of shows with
Can we?
none to
Are
talk
we allowed to
promise each
drink
other.
during
Yeah, I
the
was about to say,
Iron
can we
Fist
drink during
watch-along?
this?
I don't care.
Even though it's 9 a.m., can
Here's
we
the
just
thing, though.
get
We're gonna have
absolutely
to
blasted?
We're gonna have to do like 4 episodes. We're gonna have to do like 4 hours of Iron Fist if we're gonna watch all of Iron Fist before.
How many episodes are there, JP?
There's 2 seasons.
That show went to 2 seasons?
Yeah.
You remember
thought
the
there
end?
was
You remember the
one.
end when he pulls? You remember the end when he pulls out the guns? Oh my god!
Yeah. Don't spoil
Oh my
it.
god!
But I mean, it's from the comics. It's
I've seen
canonical.
like 2 episodes of it. I thought maybe at worst I would have to tolerate 8. You're telling me I have to
Let's
tolerate
see.
like 16?
Let's see how many we
episodes
can
of
get through.
Iron
Let's see how many we
Fist?
can actually get through before.
There are 23 episodes of Iron Fist.
Oh my god!
That's what I'm saying. And they're all an hour long.
Goodbye.
There's no way we can get through 23 episodes.
Why?
Because Eternals.
It's horrible.
Eternals is out November 5th, which means if we're not doing a show next week, then that's 1, 2, 3. We have 4 episodes until Eternals comes out. One of those is the ranking episode. So that means we have 3 episodes. Sorry, 2 episodes. No, 3 episodes. My mistake. Again, 3 episodes to watch 24 episodes of Iron Fist. I don't know if that's
What if
possible.
we just like try to watch the first 3 episodes, and we'll go from there? What if we just like
Let's see.
chunk
Hold on.
it?
How many
Because I
episodes
feel
is
like you're
season
asking
1?
for a lot. Or we can watch them at 1.5 speed and see what happens.
Season 1 is 13 episodes.
So many.
We'd have to do 4 hours for 2 weeks and then 5 hours for the final week.
What
And I
if
don't even know
we
how we're going to
don't-
watch it.
What if we don't do this? What if we just don't do this?
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking about pulling the ripcord on this. I agree.
What if we agree this is a terrible idea?
We still
Don't-
got
It's a terrible idea.
We got to figure something out though for those 3 weeks. That's the thing.
Well, what do the fans want? People watching right now, what do you want us to do?
Ollie
What
wants
should
Iron
we
Fist.
watch?
Ollie
Is
wants
it-
Iron
is it-
Fist.
Thor 2 watch along? Because I'm down for that.
The movies would be very good.
I'm down for a Thor 2
think-
watch because that would be hilarious.
Oh,
Holy crap. That would be good.
my god.
Let me I think some of those movies are on whatever it's called.
Everything
Watch
but
Party.
Spider-Man is on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like watch party potential.
Oh, I don't know how to help you there.
Let's see.
You know, that would be cool going into the new Spider-Man movie if we watched the old Spider-Man movies.
Those are
Have you
hard
guys
as fuck
rewatched
to
those
watch.
recently?
I don't know where to watch them. Not because they're like
Oh,
hard to
I
watch.
thought you
but,
meant
like,
they were like horrible.
No, I don't.
No,
I don't
they're
know
just
where to watch
Hard to
them.
find online. I think they're on.
Oh.
I don't know.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I'm trying to sign in here to. Okay, there we go.
Disney Plus is a group watch thing. It looks like.
Okay. Well, because we have the stuff for the watch party.
Or we could just do Defenders. We could go straight to Defenders.
I'm not watching that again. I'm laying down my fucking. So Thor 2 is not on Amazon, so we'd have to watch that like. Through whatever that third-party app is that we were talking about. We'll figure it out. Maybe we'll do like a Thor 2. Maybe we could do the Spider-Mans. I don't know. What would lead into Eternals? I don't even know. Nothing, really. I wonder chronologically if... I guess Eternals is still going to be post-Endgame, right? It wouldn't be like the first film you watch.
Are you saying that we should watch Spider-Man 1 and 2? The original Spider-Man?
That's what Bronze is saying, yeah.
That's what I was saying, yeah.
Before we
Not
watch.
And not the
Before the
Spider-Man.
one.
I haven't seen those in a very long time.
I'm talking about like not Tom Holland.
Yeah.
No. I'm talking about
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, Tobey Maguire.
I haven't seen those in a very long
years.
time.
Oh boy, you guys are.
You watched them recently. I know you did.
I mean, here's the thing. Spider-Man 2 is amazing. Spider-Man 1.
The only
is
thing I
like-
remember from Spider-Man 1 is the upside down kiss, and that's it.
Spider-Man 1 is a movie where they were like, well, the producers know how to make superhero movies, so why bother trying to make it good? It is all over the place.
Which one is the one with Green Goblin?
First one.
That's the first one.
Okay, so there's one scene from that has been cemented into my brain since childhood. And it's when Aunt May is like sitting there praying. And
Oh,
Green
yeah.
Goblin is like, fuck you, fuck
Yeah,
Jesus.
he's
and he
monologuing. Yeah.
Yo, when I was a kid and that movie came out, I was hype as hell. I was like, yeah. You know, like your warship isn't safe from Green Goblin. The way he blows all her shit up, and she's like, woo! And he's like, fuck your god. I'm your god now.
Man, I kind of just want to watch that so I can like. I haven't watched. I've only watched goofs of him saying I'm something of a scientist myself. I haven't actually seen the scene, and I feel like an entire rewatch just to see that scene might be worth it.
It is. Willem Dafoe single-handedly carries that movie. Like the rest of the movie is like,
I agree,
solidly mediocre. But Willem
when
Dafoe
they're in the
comes in,
burning
puts it on his
building-
back.
When they're in like the burning building, that scene scared me. When he's like, oh, and he's like, ah, bitch.
Yeah, he jumps out of nowhere. Yeah, he does. It's scary as fuck. I agree.
Yo, I was terrified.
It was like 0 to 100 real quick.
All you need to know is Spider-Man 3 features the greatest scene in movie history that was on the editing floor.
Which was that?
The old man trying to say glider. Look it up on Google. Go to YouTube.
You've
when he's
mentioned
like,
this, and I didn't do the
Master Harry,
legwork.
your father was killed by his own gilder. Like, cut! He's like, your father was fathered by a glider. He's like, cut! It's great.
I'm gonna have to
watch
watch
it.
it.
It's a beautiful moment.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Very, very good.
If I don't watch it and you remind me a third time, that's on me. That's on
I'm gonna be sad if I go rewatch Spider-Man 1 and Green Goblin isn't as cool as I remember, because I just remember being like,
might
this
not be.
villain
We should
plays
fuck
by
it.
no one's rules.
We should watch
You know, he's like,
We should watch
Master
it.
Harry, your father was glided by his own gilder.
Oh, Jesus
I'm
Christ.
telling you. And they're just like, you like to play games, don't you? And he's like 95, and he's like, what? It's so good.
Oh, boy. All right, let's call it.
All right.
Let's do some shout outs. Let's get out of here. Thank you guys for watching. Shout out to 2K and Firaxis once again for sponsoring the first hour of the show. They'll be doing that again in October, so look forward to that. Bronze, what do you got going on? Where can people check you out? What's up?
hi,
Do some shout-outs.
hello. I'm that bronze girl. I stream full time on twitch.tv. You can find my stuff on Twitter. Sometimes I put funny or interesting things on there. Yeah, I DM a D&D game Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can catch up on YouTube or you can catch it live tomorrow night. That's me.
Awesome stuff. Jesse Cox. Some shout outs.
Hi, my name is Jesse Cox. I always post interesting things, and sometimes I'm entertaining, but most of the time I'm awesome. This is how you're supposed to do it, Bronze. Thanks for tuning in and watching us every Monday, where you can get your best MCU news that exists. We are so good at this that we are still doing it. We're going to force you to like it. And when we're done, man, you're going to want more of it too. We're not going to quit till you're clamoring for that MCU news. And you're like, ooh, where can I get more? Every Monday at 9 a.m. That's right, 9 a.m. Except for next week when we aren't.
It's true. Jesse, are you saying you want to move the showtime start? Is that?
No, it's fine. Huge fan of the start.
You're in
time.
the office.
One of my favorites. Yeah. I got here at 7 a.m. Thrilled to be here. Excited to be here. Love you, everybody.
I'm getting some mixed messaging, Chad. I'm gonna have to. I'll have to watch the replay of that and see if the watcher has any information on that one. Anyways, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. JPNN trailer time after this, as well as every start of the stream. Tomorrow we're doing a sponsored stream with Sips, Momo, and Strippin. We're going to be playing New World for like 5+ hours. Probably chopping wood for 5 hours. Should be an interesting time. I'm curious how that one's going to go.
That doesn't sound fun at all.
I'm actually kind of into it. I'm
have fun, buddy.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. It should be an interesting one. Dodger's going to be joining us on Wednesday. Jessam, you're out on Wednesday, right? Just to reconfirm. You're out of potentially doing this. Okay, so you have other obligations.
D&D.
Yeah.
I have D&D. Maybe I don't. Hold on. Well,
That's what I'm asking.
I have no clue. We'll figure it out.
Okay, let me know.
Yeah.
Because you might be on the show Wednesday with us.
Oh, Jessam. He never knows what's going on.
He doesn't.
I'm on this show and I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's going on. And then there's something going. Oh, Thursday, I will be taking the day off for NDA purposes.
I too shall also be taking the day off for NDA purposes.
And Jesse and I might be NDAing together.
Maybe
That
up
sounds
until
bad.
9 o'clock at night. Can't wait,
dude. Oh my, it's a long day.
Super excited all day. NDA.
Yeah, should be good. Anyways, that's it for the MCU crew. Thanks so much for watching. We will not see you next week because we will not be here. I'll probably be streaming otherwise, but we'll see you in 2 weeks where we'll discuss the end of What If and see if it was all worth it or if not. And then in 3 weeks, we'll be doing our final MCU rankings of all the MCU shows.
What if it is? What if?
Then I'll have to go back and watch all of it. You know, I'll have to go back and watch.
Believe in the hype. Believe in the dream.
I'm
and if
believing.
it's not, I'll be the first person to say it was trash.
Okay.
I'll arrive on that episode and be like, garbage. But what if it's not?
It's true. It's true. I want to believe, Scully. Okay? I want to believe. Does that mean you're Mulder? Wait, does that mean Bronze the smoking man?
Yeah. No, actually, Bronze is all three of those nerds that like hang out with us from time to time.
Correct.
I'm the solitary gunman or whatever, lone gunman.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. You're welcome.
I mean, those are pretty cool people to be.
Those are cool dudes.
Yeah, they're not bad.
Clearly, I would be Scully.
No. JP
no,
Scully.
Yeah. No, I'm Mulder and you're Scully.
Wait.
Because
no,
I
what?
want to believe
No, I'm Mulder.
and my sister got taken by aliens.
Yeah, well then I'm telling you. So really, I'm the assistant director, and then I guess Bronze is Mulder.
Okay.
Wait, Bronze is Scully. You know what? This doesn't make any sense.
I was gonna say, isn't Mulder the one that believes in the crazy theories, and
I think
Scully's
JP
the
just
one
threw a
that's
wrench in this
logical?
whole thing. You ruined it, JP.
Aha, I'm the smoking man all along. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. We are now over the Eternals runtime. We did it, gang. We'll see you next week. Have a good week. Bye-bye.